Well, hey, there helps if I add myself to my own damn stream. That was great. Hey, we're off to a good start. It is a Tuesday morning. I'm not even drunk yet, and I'm dropping shit. All right, let's get the hat on, adjust the camera here. Adjust the camera down a little bit more so we don't get the backlighting. There we go. Hey, everybody, how's it going? I am Legal Vices, and welcome to my show. It is a birthday feed today. It's my birthday, so I'm just kind of dicking around here, not doing much. Need to check and see what it was exactly that I dropped on the floor. Oh, nothing too serious. Just $700 worth of camera equipment. All right. Okay, we're off to a great start here. And today, as I said, it is just a chillaxing birthday stream. Thank you so much for the birthday wishes. Let's catch up on the deal. Lots of happy birthday, happy birthday, everybody. Thank you so much. Swan Lake Lady asks, will we get to hear the South Korean version of the happy birthday song? No. Who is the handsome fellow in the picture? That would be moi. Hey, again, welcome to everybody. People are trickling on in here for the chill out birthday stream. It is a glorious morning somewhere in the world, but right here it is a dark and rainy birthday night. I got everything out of my system this weekend, so my birthday is kind of chilling out here with you folks. Where did we? Where were we on here? Bourbon, no bourbon and boats tonight. Just we have bourbon and news stories that I didn't get to when I was getting drunk. Brandon Lesko, happy 60th. Fuck off. It's only my 53rd birthday today. Time to get wasted. We have a few drinks here we'll be getting through tonight. Wow. Oh, geez. Okay. That's a good way to kick off the day. Wow. Thank you. Thank you very much for that Xcomer ZZZZ. Happy birthday. Thank you so much for that donation. That was off to a good start. Paul Byrne, thank you so much for your donation as well. It's a great birthday present. Happy bleeding birthday, man. Loads of love from Ireland. Love watching your streams. You as well are extremely welcome here. Thank you so much for the birthday gift. That's very, very, very appreciated. All the mods, welcome. You mods are super awesome. You guys are great. Couldn't do this without you. And if it was your birthday, I would be telling you happy birthday. But I am absolutely thrilled at everything you do for me. I deeply appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. Like I said, we're just going to kind of chill out, have fun here today. The temperature is rising in this room. My house is too damn big, and the air conditioner doesn't make it to this end of the house. So I've got the trusty old fan here. Have to turn that on a little bit, but it's kind of annoying noise. Gosh, I'm so happy to see all of you here today. We are up to 22,050 subscribers. And I've sent out just a couple of comments to people. If they want to join, they are welcome to. Happy 70th. Thoughts on Edward Snowden? Yeah, last time I gave my thoughts on Snowden, people freaked out. Yeah, I really, don't care what happens to him. To be honest, I think he's a piece of shit. He was in a. Oh, hey, wow! Here we have our first guest of the evening, Ron Coleman. We've only been on the stream once or twice before. Welcome to have you here. Oh, and we are sans audio. I think your mic is not muted on my end.
No, it's not muted. It's the stupid button that turns itself off on the amplifier. So
Good.
you've got a big birthday. What, today?
Yeah, 53.
53. That's not what it said.
We've had 60, 70, and a couple of other things tonight. So it's
53, man. What I would do to be 53 again.
Yeah, it's like, to be 35. I'm 35 and my life is over. Yeah, it is.
35 is just unimaginable. But I would take it I would start again at 50.
Well, the life begins at 40 thing, and I think we're here at life beginning at 50 and then 53. It's not. I remember when I was a child and my father turned 50, and I said, "Dad, you're half a century old." He swore a little bit, threw a couple things at me, and I thought it was funny. But then when I hit 50, it really wasn't that funny anymore.
Well, happy birthday to you.
Well, thank you. And I'm sure everyone knows, but this is Ron Coleman, the
Well, it says
legend.
right there. It says right there under my name.
It is.
I'm not a legend, though. I am not a legend because everything they say about me is true.
Now, and it would be demeaning to demote you to status of legend. What's going on in your neck of the woods today? Anything exciting happening in the world of law? Does anything ever exciting happen in the world of law?
Yeah, well, certainly I would say in the last couple of weeks it's been unbelievable. And for my podcast, I have had a number of conservative legal figures, most recently Josh Hammer, who I spoke to last week, who said, I can't believe what this week has been like. It's been just pure, how can this world be so good to us?
Well, the ones I see, apparently the Supreme Court somehow delegitimized itself by doing its job.
Except for the ones where it didn't. I just kind of note that my computer, regardless of what I think of the matter, is going to reboot in 5 minutes. So I will swing back in and drop in on your birthday party later. But
awesome!
I wanted to come in and wish you a happy one, and
all right,
you'll have many more. Oh, really good.
We have another guest here just as you're leaving. Hello. Kurt. Welcome to Uncivil Law.
Hello, how's it going?
All right, take care, Ron. Wow, that was perfect timing. Thank you so much for popping in and saying howdy, Ron. That was unexpected and deeply appreciated. Kurt, good morning to you, sir.
Happy birthday, sir.
Well, so the Supreme Court's been delegitimized, apparently.
So I've heard. This is a great disappointment to me.
Yeah, but it's like the only organization that can be delegitimized by doing exactly what it's supposed to do.
This is an affront to democracy, returning things to voting. I do particularly like that one. That's the nice one.
And it'll somehow make it better if we add more judges to the mix. What is your feeling on the expansion of the court as a Supreme Court scholar?
Well, I mean, from first principles, I don't necessarily have an objection to it because the size of the Supreme Court has been fixed since around the Civil War. And for a whole host of reasons, some of which I don't really feel really justify themselves, the Supreme Court has been taking fewer and fewer cases on the whole. And I think this is a bit of a problem. The Supreme Court used to have to take a lot more cases because they had mandatory jurisdiction for a lot of things. They had to take a lot of things because they were the appellate court. The Congress designated them as the Court of Appeals for a lot of issues, and that got changed in the 80s or something like that, where the mandatory jurisdiction went away. But then they just decided to not replace them with cases that they could choose, and there's a problem there. So if it's an issue of workload, if it's an issue of throughput to have more things decided, then that makes sense. I don't know that it should be 9 for any particular reason. It's just a number that's arbitrary as opposed to any other arbitrary number. Of course, then once you start talking about it being something different, you have to choose about how those people get selected, and that's the whole problem.
So as you, from your point of view, there is nothing that would prevent them from expanding the number of judges on the court.
Not really. I mean,
other than asking, do you want to dilute your power on the court? And to which I think the answer would be no, we don't want to. Go away.
Yeah, I mean the nature of how many courts there are is the lower courts, how many trial courts there will be, how many courts of appeal they will be, what their jurisdiction will be, how many people are on the Supreme Court, what kind of cases they have to hear, what kind of cases they are allowed to hear. A lot of that is decided by statute, and so it's hard to see from first principles where the Supreme Court could say no, the Congress can't do certain things.
Well, and you, as again, every single Supreme Court stream I've seen you do your quick fire answers, and you've been spot on. Were you off on any of your predictions for any of the cases this session?
I'm trying to think.
Did you make a mistake somewhere along the line?
I didn't think I didn't think it was likely that they would overturn Roe. I thought they'd overturn Casey, because Casey is a bit of a garbage fire of a case because it's a completely fractured case with no majority decision, and it's just kind of a wasteland of meaninglessness. And I thought that in terms of the analysis, I'm still not completely convinced by the Supreme Court's majority analysis in Dobbs relating to quickening and the pre-quickening stuff. I think I think their analysis that exists, I don't think it says what they think it says, and even if it does, I don't think it leads to the conclusion they think it does. So I'm critical of some of it for that reason. And also, I just didn't think they would go that far. And also, I think Roberts is getting more detraction than I think is warranted on at least this particular issue.
Are you concerned that he's so political?
There's a question. There's a sort of an underlying root question there about what the right philosophy is, sort of from his vantage point. Is it enough to merely be concerned about getting the right answer? Is that all that there is, or is there something beyond that in terms of the legitimacy in the institution? Because the Supreme Court, of course, as an institution, only has as much power and legitimacy as people believe in it. They don't have their own police force. They don't have money. They only have the money Congress gives them. They only have the police force that the executive branch is willing to put behind them. There's a famous saying of, they've made their decision, now let them actually enforce it, is a whole problem. So I don't know that the Chief Justice's concern about the perception of the legitimacy of the court is an invalid concern. The degree to which that has compromised or should compromise his judgment, I think, is an interesting philosophical question. How's that for a moderated answer?
Oh, that was extremely moderated. And the other legend, Ron Coleman, is back. Yeah. Your button is debuttoned again.
Yeah. You're right. There is, I believe it is true that courts must do right and also be seen to have done right. Justice must be done and seen to be done. These are not the same concern, and I think both are legitimate concerns. And that if these are truly twin concerns, to do justice and seen to be doing justice, to do right and seen to be doing right, it almost necessarily implies that at some point you will have to sacrifice one for the other, because no one can serve two masters. So at some point there's going to come a point where you're going to have to sacrifice one or the other. So it implies that it's possible that justice will have to be sacrificed for the perception of justice, even if that's a less just result in some sort of absolute sense of the phrase. So whether or not that's
wading in deep waters this morning.
I mean, yeah, I think
I thought it was a birthday party.
Well, apparently for your birthday party, well, you're the one asking the questions, Legal Vice. Apparently what you wanted for your birthday was deep philosophical questions about the nature of what justice looks like. So happy birthday. I'm glad I could deliver for you.
I have two preeminent legal scholars here on the show this morning. I can't waste that opportunity.
Yeah.
And
I think Chief Justice Roberts' behavior is very emblematic of this sort of dichotomous thinking. It's like, I must not only achieve the right result, I must achieve a result that leads to the perception of the Supreme Court's legitimacy as an institution, and so forth and so on. So he has competing concerns. And you see those.
About 6 months ago, somebody wrote a really good piece saying he's achieved, it might have been Ilya Shapiro, he's achieved the exact opposite.
I think this is possible. I think this is very possible. And I think this is a problem with a lot of fantastical thinking, or a lot of wishing thinking, thinking on more left-leaning or more progressive thinking. Like, a lot of it makes sense in theory, and then when you actually try to apply it in the real world, sometimes it leads to the opposite result of what you were trying to achieve in the first place. And so there is a, if you're viewing this from a viewpoint of, sort of realpolitik in terms of, how did it manifest? That's a different way of analyzing it, which also, incidentally, is not the same thing as justice necessarily. So these are all different ways of viewing problems.
Wow. Kind of sorry I asked.
Okay.
I don't think you're the only one.
Well, did we all see AOC's Stephen Colbert interview?
AOC's an idiot.
So you know that? Did you see the interview?
No, I saw segments of it. I get frustrated with people like AOC, because you asked me a question, like this, and it's like, okay, let's go into this complicated space where we're going to explore these very complicated topics at like the highest levels of, philosophical thinking. And then we have AOC like, and I'm like, oh my God, please stop talking.
That's a very good impression. What were you going to say, Ron? You were going to say something?
I am told by someone who has known him personally for many years, that Colbert is no rocket scientist either.
It appeared that way.
That he is basically every word that he says in entertainment is scripted. And I've heard to the contrary. I heard about some of his early contributions as a writer as being very, very impressive. But evidently, he really has nothing to say in person. And I mean, he certainly doesn't seem to ever Thing about him, right? I mean, the obvious comparison is with Bill Maher. He doesn't seem to ever question his own point of view. Maybe what I said before, I should reconsider. That doesn't seem to be part of his vocabulary. I don't watch the program, but it's just the clips that I see coming across on the tweeters.
But even like you said, even Bill Maher will step and say, okay, sometimes the left are complete nut jobs and idiots.
Yeah, I mean, Maher has lost a lot of people, who insist on total, herd.
Because he makes an attempt to think.
Yeah.
He makes the attempt. The degree to which he succeeds is questionable, but the very fact he's trying to make the attempt apparently is beyond reproach or something.
It's unforgivable.
Well, it was scary if you didn't see AOC's thing. I recommend seeing, because she was literally wrong on virtually everything that came out of her mouth. Saying, the Supreme Court is delegitimized. The idea was they were supposed to be co-equal and co-powerful in the government. That's how it was intended to be. And
how are they not that, though? If that's your premise, how are they not that?
Well, they're not that because they've gone rogue, apparently. And they've overstepped their bounds by overturning laws that were made. I mean, it literally made no sense.
But what in your view do you think this? Okay, these are the questions. Okay, so what in your view do you think the Supreme Court is for? If that's illegitimate, then what's legitimate? Okay, the Supreme Court. Okay, your premise. I mean, let's try to follow this all the way through. I know we're trying to play logic with AOC, but still, let's follow the logic all the way through. All right, you think the Supreme Court is wrong because they're overturning cases or overturning laws? Okay, fine. What do you think the Supreme Court's supposed to do? If that's illegitimate, what is legitimate in your view? And then let's go explore that and see what that would look like. Let's think it all the way through. Ooh.
Yeah, well, that's something she clearly couldn't do. And then Stephen Colbert was just simping hard for it. I mean, I thought I was watching.
You want to run for president? Okay.
I thought I was watching it with Nick, and I thought Nick was going to have an aneurysm. I really did. I mean, he was darn near catatonic watching this thing, but it's
apoplectic.
Yeah. But the thing, and this is just a comment, I'd be curious, and then we'll get on to lightheartedness. To me, if you just look at it from the broad picture, it's the left. And again, I'm a strict kind of classic small L libertarian, not the Alex Jones hat wearing type. I'll pay my taxes, fix the road, protect the country, and then stay the hell out of my life as much as possible. So I find fault on both sides of the fence, and I'm a fence sitter by definition. So, but
yeah, well, which is not necessarily a principled position.
Yeah, that's
to be a fence sitter.
I have my opinions fall on both sides of the fence.
The fence can be an extremely principled position. It's like the line is here, and that's where it is, and I'm going to sit right on the line of whatever the boundaries are. That's fine.
No, but if the fence is where you have a binary choice, where you have to say, I'm going to vote for A or I'm going to vote for B, or this is going to be the law, or it's not going to be the law. You sit on the fence. You can sit on the fence, but to then criticize, take pot shots on either side of the fence, you're not taking a position. So it leaves you.
Well, I would say I take positions on issues, and I wouldn't say, okay, I'm neutral on. You can't be neutral on issues. That's a dishonesty.
Unless you say I don't know anything. I don't know about it.
At least on my own channel, I try to just maintain the legal position. For example, like on the issue of abortion, I have basically declined to take a position on the moral posture. And it's like, well, what do I think is possible? It's like, well, based on my best reading of the law, the states are basically free to do anything they want. They can allow all the abortions and they can ban all the abortions, possibly with the exception of when the mother's life is in threat, because then we're into some sort of self-defense theory, which is also a principled posture. But it's like basically, we can allow everything or we can forbid everything, is obviously not taking a moral posture. It's like, well, just what's legally possible. So my attacks on Roe, for example, are from legal postures, and same ideas for for example, Wickard v. Filburn or Chevron versus NRDC, which I comment about endlessly. And it's like, I just don't think these are right. So,
I mean, if looking at this from a bird's eye view, though, I think the whole left position regarding this is the government should stay out of our wombs. The government shouldn't pass any laws for our wombs. Isn't that exactly what the Supreme Court just did? And said, okay, we're out of the game.
yeah.
If you want us out, we're out. We're out of
We're
the
out.
game. It's not up
We're
to us
out.
anymore.
Yeah.
But
They
somehow
They
you
shouldn't
got-
be
you get what
controlling
I'm
our
saying.
bodies. The
I'll
Supreme
play-
Court's
I'll-
like, you're right. We shouldn't.
I'll play devil's advocate on that. When all you said, if you say we're out of it, you're saying we're not going to keep the government out of wombs. If my position is keep the government out of my womb, and the court says, well, no, I'm not going to do that. Let governments go into.
I
your
think the
womb.
government is well out of your womb. I'm just, just that's, I think.
There's a lot
yeah.
of womb in my womb, I assure you. I don't know.
yeah, again, and nothing that anybody says is going to change anybody's mind on that issue.
And I just saw a very interesting video right before over the weekend where this guy, the Liberal Hive Mind on YouTube, so he showed a bunch of polls. He said no movement. The only poll in which there was movement after Roe versus Wade was the Harvard something poll, which is always the most Democratic skewed, and it moved one point.
Wow.
And I've been saying for months that this would not have an effect on the election as much as Democrats wanted. It might affect their fundraising and it might affect their activism morale, but people have chosen sides on this already.
More likely to impact the election is Biden saying gas will be $5 a gallon until morale improves.
That is a winner. That is a winner. But
well, are either of you familiar with the Taylor Shabusiness case in Wisconsin?
No, but I like the name already. Shabusiness?
Yes, Taylor Shabusiness.
Excellent.
Apparently her real name was Coronado or something to that effect.
Oh, Shabusiness is better. I like it.
okay.
This is this makes the Chandler Halderson case seem like a walk in the park. There's something wrong with the water in Wisconsin. She did some massive drug cocktail with her boyfriend. And then they went back to his house and they broke out each other's set of chains. And apparently he decided to let her choke him first. And while she was choking him out, she apparently blacked out. She woke up from her blackout state and said, well, I've gone this far. I guess I should just continue to see what happens. So she,
I mean, there's a certain logic in there somewhere.
Yeah. Well, that's what she told the police. Have you ever loved something enough you wanted to kill it? That's what she told the police when they asked her why.
She actually said that.
Oh yeah. Oh, she was.
He actually said, "Have you ever loved something enough you wanted to kill it?"
Yeah.
That's the kind of statement that is going to hurt you at your potential future criminal trial. Just
exactly.
FYI, when they're saying don't talk to police, one of the things we specifically mean is don't tell them.
She talked.
Love someone she wanted to kill it.
She talked. She is the definition of self snitch.
Okay.
After she ended this poor boyfriend's life, she decided she was going to dismember his body and hide the evidence.
Maybe the boyfriend got off easy.
Possibly. But so she was under this drug cocktail, so she wasn't very thorough with her job. She took a leg and a foot out to her friend's van and put it there.
I think there's nothing for it on my channel. We are definitely going to have to cover better ways of disposing bodies. We're definitely going to have to review all the best methods.
I'm speaking to you from Newark, New Jersey, and I assure you that in this neighborhood,
they know how to do it right.
We know how to do it right.
My mother's a Patterson girl.
Oh yeah, well Patterson also, doing the
Sopranos,
she
talks about being in the '60s with the razor blades and the beehive do's and things.
All right, guys, I really actually do have a call coming up. Great to see you. Happy birthday.
Thank you for stopping in for our enlightening conversation.
Legal vices and uncivil law. Good to see you guys.
Thank you, Ron.
Thank you for stopping in. Have a great day. Yeah, take care. Bye-bye.
This is the best birthday ever. Supreme Court, philosophy, Principles of review, how to dispose bodies. What's next, legal advice?
Oh, this is just the beginning of the shit business story.
Excellent.
After she took the leg out, she did other things with the internal organs of the body, and again, that's the other thing she told the police. Good luck finding all of the organs. Not something you want to mention to the police. But then she kind of got lazy.
When they tell you have the right to remain silent, they don't mean, whatever that is.
Yeah, so she chopped off his head and put it in a bucket, and then she removed his male member and pleasured herself with it for a few hours after his death, and used toys on him for a few hours after his death. And then put it in the bucket next to his head, put a shirt over it, and went out the back door. Mom hears the back door slam, goes downstairs to see if the girl left, and she discovers her son's head in a bucket at the bottom of the stairs. Yeah, the police get called. It's not really difficult to find out who the primary suspect was. They went over to her house.
That kind of narrows the pull down a lot.
And she is completely covered in blood. She didn't change out of the clothes, and blood are all over her hands. And the police asked, "Do you know why I'm here?" And she said, "I think it probably has something to do with a warrant for my arrest." And they took her back to the station, and she just explained everything. She just told them exactly what happened.
I want to see this confession tape so much now. It just sounds like the best thing ever.
I will email you the complaint. It is one of the grimmest complaints I've ever read.
I guess what we're covering today on my channel. Guess what we're covering today on my channel. Holy shit, dude! It sounds great.
And so they obviously brought her. She asked for a public defender. She got her public defender, and then a very short time later, apparently someone came in, wanted to do some pro bono work for her, and she said okay. The first hearing they did was a dual hearing. One, the lawyer said, okay, which one of us is representing her? She's appointed both of us. And the public defender said, I think we need to have a competency hearing first, because she is not in a position to be able to actively assist with her defense. And the judge was watching her pace around the video conference room inside the prison where she was, and said, "Yeah, it kind of seems that way." So he orders a mental examination of her to see if she's fit for trial. They come back a month later, and they said, "Well, he said, let's deal with this first, then we'll worry about who's representing her."
Fair enough, right? Then we don't need to figure out who's representing her to figure out. Maybe we should determine whether or not she's competent. I appreciate that.
Yeah. So then at the next competency hearing, the pro bono lawyer said, "I'll tell you what, we'll let the public defender's office take this. We're out." So the judge said, "Thank you for making that easy for me." And the results of the competency hearing are she seems to be competent to stand trial.
Yeah. So competency is a fairly low bar. You just have to understand what you're being charged with. And be able to have some basic assistance to your lawyer, and it's not very much. So yeah. I imagine her mental state though at the time of the crime will be interesting. So I guess the best defense in this posture is, well, because I imagine she's being charged with murder, right? With aggravated circumstances.
First degree murder, violation of a corpse, and something else.
So I guess the best way to attack this legally is by attacking the murder, right? It's like, I didn't intend to kill him. It was, a sex game that went wrong, which is not like the first time it's ever happened. And so then if you can get past basically the criminality of how he died, which, is the big ticket item. If you can get past that, then everything else becomes more trivial by comparison. It's like, yes, after he was dead, I, abused his corpse and by many, many, many methods of doing so, but it's not murder. So, So, hey, there's a defensible posture in there.
Except for the part where she says that she killed him to see what it felt like.
Problem, of course, is selling this to a jury.
Yeah.
Which is difficult in light of, the blood and the everything and the confessions and stuff. So it's a difficult posture. But hey, on the plus side, you already got the jury thinking she's batshit crazy. So if you can really make them steer into that, you might be able to make something work. Yep. You know,
Yeah.
I'll take it on. I'll take on the challenge.
Well, the public defender apparently wasn't as eager to do so as you are, because they said we came back with a decision that she was competent to stand trial, but we'd like a second opinion from another psychological evaluation, please, judge.
No, whether or
And-
not she's competent to stand trial, I appreciate. No, you gotta play the entire game.
And
It's
so they
like
tried
whether or
that.
not she's competent to stand trial, she's incompetent to stand trial, then that's great. Well, sort
And
of. At least she
The
gets the mental
judge
health.
said, yeah,
She gets the
the
mental
judge
health
said,
she
well,
obviously needs.
yeah. Sure. The judge said, well, I tell you what, you asked me to appoint someone to do it. I appointed someone to do it. And apparently you just don't like their answer.
Yeah.
We're not going to do that game again. But if you want to use your own dime to have her evaluated, go right ahead. They
Fair.
did. And even the expert that they appointed to evaluate her came back and said she's competent to stand trial.
Yeah, I mean, I appreciate what they're trying to do. Competent to stand trial is a very low bar. It's pretty hard not to be competent to stand trial. Again, all you need to understand basically is that you're being charged with a crime.
Mhm.
You need to understand that you're a lawyer. You need to understand the basic functions of, like, what is a prosecutor? What is a defense lawyer? You know, what is a judge? Like the very, very basics. And if you're there, you're there. It doesn't require much.
And this is Wisconsin, where I mean, again, where Chandler Halderson was. There's something in the water there that just kind of makes people. Kaczynski.
Well, I'll root for her. She needs someone in her corner. I'll root for her.
And so today is her arraignment.
Uh-huh.
That's my birthday present from the court gods, is her arraignment today.
When is this supposed to go to trial? Probably no time soon.
It's gonna be, when it does, it's gonna be a very short trial, I would imagine.
I don't know, man. I mean, I could. Again, if I'm thinking about this from a defense posture, the game I have to win really is the murder charge. So I have to make it where she didn't commit the murder, because like the desecration of a corpse and all that stuff, it's like I'm just toast. But
Yeah,
I might be able to win the murder if I'm, if I eat my Wheaties that day. So
read the complaint and see if you still have that same opinion after you read it. Like 90% of what the police had in their report came from her mouth. It's
that doesn't help.
Bad.
That doesn't
No.
help. And again, one of the many reasons that the lawyers say to keep your mouth shut, because every word you say makes your future defense lawyer's life sad. Because now I have to steer against it. It's like, she didn't mean to kill him. Yes, I meant to kill him. I wanted to see what happened. I killed him just to see what happens when he dies.
And she enjoyed
It's
it.
like,
and good luck finding his organs.
This is making it harder for me to sell the jury on the concept of I didn't mean to kill him.
Yeah.
Yes, I meant to do it and I enjoyed it. Is making that sell a lot harder. Thanks.
Well, and Wisconsin is a non-death penalty state, so it's a mandatory life without parole. Same way Chandler went down. So literally, she has nothing to lose by pleading guilty and hoping that there's such an epic fuck up on the part of the public prosecutor, part of the prosecutor, that it gets thrown out, or if something happens to get her off a little bit longer.
We're already kind of part of the way there, because it's like how you have to have the mental state necessary to commit the intent for the murder. It's like, and she's already a complete mental fuck up. I mean, I don't think the idea that she's a complete mental fuck up is that hard to sell. So you just have to, get to the place of, like, she obviously has no idea what she's doing, saying, thinking, believing.
And that might be viable, I think, if she didn't try to hide the evidence of her bad job.
When you try to hide things, it's what we call consciousness of guilt, and also it's a real problem. Juries don't really like the consciousness of guilt. When you show an intent to try to hide your crime, it makes it more difficult to sell. I didn't know what I was doing. I wasn't in my right mind. But you made all these steps to try to hide what you were doing.
You'll see the beautiful part.
Kind of also shows that you thought that what you were doing is wrong because you were trying to hide it. So it shows consciousness of guilt. It's like,
you'll see the beautiful part in the criminal complaint where the police are saying she's talking, she's explaining things, they're asking her what she's doing, she's going along, and then she just stops and says, "Oh fuck, the head! Why did I leave the head there?" It's really, really bad.
Okay. I mean, my fantasies as criminal defense lawyer are not everyone's got to earn their mark. Everyone's got to earn their mark sometime. So if you have money, Let's see what we can do.
I would love to hear your thoughts after you
Uh-huh.
read this complaint. But this is just in. This is hot off the wire news right
Okay.
here. Where is it?
And then we
Share
can
that
give
bad
we
boy.
can give pro tips for the future. Now, look, people, when you want to dispose of a body, here's some ways to do it. Okay.
A Green Bay woman has pleaded not guilty to charges in a murder and dismemberment case that made national headlines. Taylor Shabusiness appeared in Brown County Court Tuesday for an arraignment hearing. She entered a not guilty pleas to counts of first-degree intentional homicide,
Yep.
mutilating a corpse, and third-degree SA. The court is set for trial October 19th. Put that on the calendar.
Well, also it can't be SA if he's dead. So there's that. See, it's like she didn't intend to kill him. And now that he's dead, it's not SA. And so it's just mutilation and disrespect of a corpse, which is like a misdemeanor. No problem. I'll get her off on probation.
I think
Easy
they're probably
peasy.
going for the SA with choking him out, but to me, that would be consensual up until
See, that's
that
yeah.
point.
Yeah.
And see, that was this post-mortem SA thing is an interesting story from a legal perspective. For me personally, here, this is one we want. Because I had, again, it was the typical law school grift where your evidence teacher says, mine was Professor Boyce, who was also a federal magistrate, and he's okay. Here's our evidence class. We have this $500 book we have to buy for the course called Boyce on Evidence.
Mhm.
So we had to buy the book that the professor wrote, of course, which is what they all do. That was his big thing, was like, is it possible to grape someone after they are
No, of
deceased
course not.
if you had the mens rea and you thought they were alive at
Well,
the
if you
time?
thought they were alive, then it's attempted. Then you're
Yeah.
there, but you're not there for the grape. You're there for attempted grape. Same thing with murder. It's a classic law school. It's a classic law school hypothetical. I shoot a bullet into a heart of a man who's sleeping, but he isn't sleeping. He's dead. So am I guilty? Not of murder, but of attempted
murder.
All right, exactly. Yeah, because I had the requisite mental state. I thought I was committing a crime. So I attempted to kill him. The fact that it's factually impossible because he's already dead, that's what makes it attempted murder, not murder. So yes, it's attempted grape, not grape. So yes, great law school hypothetical. Easy answers. Give me another one, counselor.
Yeah, well, you may be right on the one, because the prosecutors are saying that the SA happened after the victim died.
Yes, and then the only question becomes, did she know he was dead or not? And then it becomes a question of like, well, was his head detached or not at that point? Because that would be kind of a clue.
Yeah, the head was apparently detached before.
See, then
she
it can't really
took her
be
3
attempted
hours.
either, because you can't really believe the person might be alive when their head's detached. That's just nothing.
It's just a head in a bucket.
It's just a head of who hasn't been there? Which one of us has not sinned?
And I'm just thinking, because his member was there in the head with a bucket. That's like a classical dickhead in a bucket.
Mm-hmm.
And it's gonna. And again, this has to be televised. I mean, it has to be broadcast somewhere. This is gonna make Chandler Halderson look like a walk in the park. But it's really, really grim.
Is she cute?
With makeup, she's semi-smashable,
Okay.
but without makeup, she sort of looks like Marilyn Manson.
Okay.
But yeah, that'll be fun for you. Oh, and if you don't mind, like every Monday I do maritime like ship collisions and things like that. And I would like to read your case that you read for your 100,000th.
Please. And it's my favorite. It's my favorite case. It deserves to be shared.
Yeah, so that's just kind of what we do on Monday. Something that I know something about, actually.
It's the greatest maritime case of all time.
Yeah.
Except for the fact it wasn't a maritime case, but still.
I'm going to talk to some friends and see if anybody can dig up some stuff. Some of my maritime folks in Texas.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
See if they can find out anything that we don't know about the case. Because I'm just curious as to what happened. But yeah, that's a funny case. We'll read that next Monday then.
It's a great one.
But yeah,
I've been sitting on that case. I've been sitting on that case for like 95,000 subs, just waiting to read it. Because it's like, I want to read this case so much. I want to read it so much for a channel. But then we finally hit the mark, and I was like, yes, I finally get to read this thing.
We got to burn through a quick happy birthdays. Thank you, Tamara Holloway, 7 a.m. in Cali. It's past that now. It's almost 8 a.m. Thank you so much for that. Deeply, deeply appreciated. And Kitty Cat Rower, happy birthday. Hope you have a wonderful evening. I'm having a wonderful evening because Kurt's having a morning with me.
I'm having a great morning.
And Mindy,
I'm having a
happy
great
birthday.
morning. I've got my boxes full of stuff from my employer. So as soon as we're
It's
done
official,
with whatever,
huh?
well, yeah, as soon as we're done with whatever, I'm gonna go to FedEx and drop them off. And yeah, we're very officially just a full-time
Nice.
YouTuber. And I have to up my study for the bar. Of course, I am already licensed, as we can see from my thing. I decided to add to the background so I can feel all
There you go,
special about
yeah.
myself. But yeah, I'm studying for the Texas bar, and that's in 3 weeks. So I gotta, double down on that, make sure that I'm ready to go.
Last weekend in July.
Something like that.
As
Yeah,
is
it's like
typical,
no, it's not the weekend. It's like Tuesday, Wednesday.
Oh, wow. Mine was a Friday, Saturday. Yeah, I think it was like the 29th and 30th of July, something. It was like just sweltering hot. And they had the air conditioner up to like 500 below, down to 500 below zero.
That's fine. Yeah, I've just been doing multi-state stuff. I'm not really worried about anything else. It's like I can spot an issue on an essay exam as long
Yeah,
as
you
I
can
know
guess at the rest.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly right. I can guess the rest. That's right, exactly right. So I'll just do the multi-state stuff, and I'll be fine.
Yeah, that's. I haven't taken. After I took my bar exam, I didn't want to even take a urine test in my life if I didn't have to. So people that take multiple bars, God bless you guys.
I didn't really mind it that much the first time. I guess I was just one of those people. I didn't really bother me that much. I don't know. And I also went into the bar exam the first time basically with this conceit of people say it's harder than it is. Because there's the placebo effect everyone knows, and then there's the opposite. The nocebo effect is called when it's the opposite. So the placebo effect basically is you take a medicine, or it could be anything. You take something thinking it's going to help you, and it does help you. It has absolutely no impact in reality, but your mental perception is enough. So this is like in medicine. They give you a sugar pill and say this sugar pill will, cure cancer, and sometimes it does because people believe in it, and so that's the placebo effect. But the opposite can also be true, and when the opposite is true, it's called the nocebo effect. It's like, yes, I believe this will harm me, therefore it will harm me. So I went into the bar exam with this conceit that there's a lot of nocebo effect. People believe it's harder than it is, and so therefore it is harder than it is because people believe it's harder. And well, I passed the first time, so I'm yeah. And hopefully I pass the second time, or I'm going to look like an asshole.
Well, you can just tell everybody. Nobody will really know, unless you don't want to practice in Texas. But yeah, and I don't test well, so the bar scared the shit out of me. But somehow I magically passed. Not going to question it.
And yeah, I've been working on my federal license forever because I'm a patent lawyer, so I don't really know because I'm licensed in Virginia, probably technically, but it's like I don't really know the laws of Virginia that well because I don't practice there. All my work is federal.
Brandon, thank you so much for this ridiculously high birthday gift there. Cheers, my man. May love and laughter light your days. Beware the Baldo. Nice. All right. Are you familiar with the Baldo, Kurt?
Not that I can say that I am.
There you go. That's a good thing. It is exactly it's a portmanteau of exactly the two words it's a ball dildo.
Okay.
Thanks.
As opposed to the non-bald ones?
No, ball, like testicle dildo. Yeah, it's something for the men. Yeah, that's courtesy of Drex. That's Drex information there.
Okay, this is information I did not need in my life, which is true for most of the things Drex says, but okay.
Pretty much. Brandon apparently did very well at the gambling tables last night.
Excellent.
So thank you for sharing the wealth. And hey, depending on how well you did, get another one.
That's right.
Wow.
If you just treat this like a slot machine, if you keep entering money, you get a payback.
Keep sending me money, you might get something out of it. Probably not. The house always wins on that one.
Yeah, really.
And also, what my Beavers unit, one of my mods, she says that she really, really desperately wants to be one of your mods.
Okay.
She's a fantastic mod. I think she mods for me, Legal Mindset, and a couple of other people, I think, too.
All right, I'll add her as a mod next time I see her around on the chat.
Wow. So R. Kelly,
if you vouch for her,
I do solidly vouch for her.
There you go. Yeah, R. Kelly. I believe I can fly. I believe I can fly. I believe I can touch the sky.
Not in the cell he's going to be in for the next 30
See
years.
me running through that open door. Not for the next 30 years or so, but you know, keep the vision alive, my friend. Keep the vision alive.
Federal racketeering and sex trafficking charges.
Hmm.
Don't fall afoul of the Mann Act.
Yes, the
It's
Mann Act, for those of you who are not, it's a great name too, by the way, for the thing. Well, it's like, because I got a couple of names with it called the Mann Act, which is named after a guy. But anyways, yes, the Mann Act makes it illegal to transport minors across state lines for prurient purposes.
I mean, how often does that get prosecuted? I mean,
Not that often.
I say this is like the first time I've heard about it in decades, probably.
Well, I mean, that's Epstein for days, basically. It's just the Mann Act on steroids.
So do we have any defenses for R. Kelly in his upcoming trials, or do we?
He's
even
already been
care?
convicted.
Well, that was just of the sex trafficking trial. He's still got a bunch of charges for minors and things like that are in other courts.
I don't know his case profile well enough to know, but he seems like he's bankrupt, so I can't help him. If he had money, we could talk. But yeah.
Well, this is my one. One of my lawyer jokes that's not one of my legal jokes that's not directed at lawyers. The Cutting Edge Aquarium saved a lot of money when the owner was discovered. He discovered a means to make dolphins live forever.
Mm-hmm.
Since the dolphins never died, no money needed to be spent on new ones or upkeep on the old ones. So extending the dolphins' lives required putting a special mixture into their food. One of the ingredients was baby seagull meat. So One day, one of the workers was sent to the beach to find some seagull meat. On the way back, baby gulls in hand, he had to pass through a forest. In the middle of the path is a lion. He steps carefully over the lion.
A lion near the beach. Okay, carry on.
Yep. And he was immediately handcuffed by the police. Officer, what's going on? Says the man. You're under arrest, says the policeman. But why? For transporting young gulls across sedated lions for immortal purposes. Wow. That's it. That's all I got. Wow. Transporting gulls, young gulls across sedated lions.
I got it. Someone worked really hard on constructing that joke. I'm not sure why, but okay.
I don't know either. That was that's like the one legal joke I know that's not about lawyers.
That's a lot.
Yeah, and joke is an extremely tortured definition of that.
Yeah. Let's talk about what jokes are and how jokes work.
That's not how you do it.
I think you must understand the nature of jokes.
I want to see if I'm going to get a copyright strike for something here.
Okay.
To a 2-minute and 50-second video.
Apparently I'm the expert on copyright strikes.
Well, I think that's what we call opening the door, Kurt. Now, chat, shut the fuck up. I'm telling you right now. Shut the fuck up. I don't want to hear it. And I'm pretty sure Kurt doesn't want to hear it either.
Well, I mean, I will simply note that I've seen some commentary on the issue, and I will take note that there are two different things in play in terms of the analysis. There's sort of the culture of the thing, and there's the law of the thing. So some of the criticism directed in my direction is about the culture of how people treat these issues on YouTube or not, which, fair enough as far as it goes, right? That certain things are or are not done within the culture of YouTube. And I'm potentially violating what you might call norms of that. I'm like, okay, so that's one point of criticism is the norms of the thing or the culture of the thing. But there's this whole other aspect, and people are conflating the two, I think, it seems to me, on like the law of the thing. Right, the law as it relates to this, because the law as it relates to YouTube isn't really not different than anywhere else in copyright land. Copyright land doesn't obviously have some special section for YouTube or not. It's all one big thing. So there's the law and the thing. And I will simply point out, as to the law of the thing, not the culture of the thing, but as to the law of the thing, that people misunderstand fair use massively, which is not a surprise for anyone who's been on YouTube for any length of time, that people radically misunderstand what fair use is, how it works, how it doesn't work, and so forth and so on. This is the kind of thing that leads people to put in their comment section, this is not intended infringement, this is fair use. You know, because by saying this, it becomes true.
I don't give YouTube permission to use my photographs.
No. That's definitely not how that works. I will also point out on the law of the thing that fair use is not a bright line test. So you can't really say, I did this thing, therefore it is fair use, or not. The fair use under section 17, and we can talk about it in detail if you want. Under 17 USC 107, it's a multi-factor test. And it's a multi-factor weighing test about what is and is not fair use. And so there's no like one thing you can say, oh, this is fair use or this isn't fair use. It's a multi-factor test. And obviously people will disagree about it because it's a multi-factor test, right? So now you're going to get me 5 attorneys in the room and get 6 opinions about whether or not something is or is not fair use applying a multi-factor test. So fun times. So yeah, all those things. How's that for some legal analysis for the morning?
And again, I don't know if people are going to be particularly swayed one way or the other. It seems people make up their minds, and that's the way it is. Oh gosh, changing the subject. Kimberly Smith, thank you so much for the birthday gift. That is deeply, deeply appreciated. And I'm so bad at like self-shilling here. It's been like 52 minutes, and this is the first time I'm saying, hey, don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already done so. Every little like gets the word out, gets me into the YouTube algorithms a little more. Every subscription helps, and I would deeply, deeply appreciate it. And as Kurt said, I hope this is the day I earn your subscription.
Yes, I basically everything on my channel is just kind of made up in terms of, well, that's just generally true, but in terms of like these slogans and things, like where we learn through the misfortunes of others. I forget exactly how that came to be. I think I might have workshopped it one day, where I just with my chat, and I think I don't remember if that's how that came about or not, but where we just kind of like workshopped different taglines and basically kind of emerged from that and just stuck.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So yeah, it's just like how things work or not.
Yeah, I'm kind of working on my whatever. It seems like signing off with "enjoy your legal vices" is kind of becoming a thing. Just don't have anything on the front end yet, other than "good morning." That's kind of it so far.
Yeah. Well, I already have where we learn from this misfortunes of others. That one's mine.
Yeah.
So you have to come with something else.
Yeah. Wow. And Brandon, geez, you are treating this like a slot machine, aren't you? Don't knock it till you try it. Swing that back door open, Kurt. Keep the back door closed. Open the front door. I was joking, Brandon, but hey, thanks anyway. Deeply, deeply appreciated. This has been a fun month and about 5 days now. Month and 6 days, 7 days I've been doing this.
Excellent.
Apparently,
I'm glad you're having fun.
Well,
I've been doing this YouTube thing for like, I don't know, depends on how we're counting. 3 years, 4 years. I've been having fun.
Well, it's still writing that, even though I haven't mentioned the 2 who must no longer ever be named celebrities who recently had their trial out of the way. I just don't even want to talk about them ever again. But I'm still riding the Amber Heard, Johnny Depp wave a little bit. It's
no one mentioned them. I'm totally going to do it now. Yeah, no. I did enjoy reviewing her motion, and I was like, oh, she actually might have a point legally, which was fun.
But I mean, in a month and a few days, I've picked up 22,050 subscribers.
Yeah.
I just know that's not going to continue going that direction.
No,
all
probably
the time,
not.
But it drops off a little bit and then kind of works its way.
Well,
back.
on my channel, we are going to be covering the Crumbly trial. That's October.
What is the Crumbly trial?
Yeah, the child shooter, the shooter of the school shooter. Yeah. His parents are on trial.
His parents' trial. Yeah.
So we're going to cover because the school shooter's trial is not interesting because of course he's guilty as shit. It's just, but his parents are much more interesting in terms of their legal culpability or not. So we're going to do that trial on my channel, and then in January we're going to be doing the Daybell Vallow trial, which cult murder trial with the kids and stuff, which. We can decide which is more bizarre between Chandler and the one that you mentioned and Daybell. They're all kinds of weird.
Daybell is the one that that's one I want to work on as well too. But in trying to do this, I tried making a timeline, and then yeah, exactly. And then there's like, oh no, she killed someone else beforehand. Then you go on that timeline. Well, no, that dead person also killed someone else. All of their spouses have mysteriously died or disappeared. And I'm like, I can't even make a fucking timeline out of this. So
Yeah,
I figure
I think I've kind of given up on the timeline. It's just like, okay, they're on trial for murder of their kid, and also wanted in some other jurisdictions for other things, and we'll just we have to cut it off at some point.
I figured I would just whore myself out as the local Mormon / Idaho, Utah expert in the law tube community.
Are you a Mormon?
On paper, somewhere I still am.
Ooh, fun.
Yeah, that's how I got to Korea for the first time as a 2-year little Mormon missionary.
Oh, that sounds like an interesting story.
Yeah. Then I discovered alcohol and cigars and realized if I'm going to hell for that, I was there in hell for a lot more important things a lot sooner than I imagined.
Okay.
But yeah, so I'll just kind of shill myself out.
You're the most non-Mormon-y Mormon who's ever Mormoned. I love you.
Yeah. Well, it's like weird because there's 3 regular people in my chat that are from my hometown. But of course, I don't know them, but yeah, it's kind of weird. This community here, how small it really, really is. There's always someone from somewhere.
Well, that's one of the things the internet makes the world smaller, right? And it's interesting.
Yeah, it does.
You can find people from everywhere as your channel grows and stuff. And I, of course, wish you all the success in the world, as long as you're having fun with them. As long as you're having fun and doing something that is enjoyable, and you're producing good content, then you have my blessing.
Yeah, and it's nowhere near becoming a full-time thing if it ever does at this point. I mean, that's eons away. But yeah. I'm just having fun because
I had to some degree go full-time. I've talked about this on my channel, and I don't mind talking about it because I think it's healthy to talk about mental issues. And I've been dealing with depression for my job for a long time, years. I've been dealing with it. Like, trying to trace back exactly how long it's been, it's challenging, but let's say 5 years is very reasonable, where I can actually trace back, like starting to pick up in medication and psychiatry and all the rest of it, right? And it was just becoming more and more and more and more. And like, I was 5 years into this thing, and I think it had passed the point where it was causing me actual like manifestatable harm. And it was leading to some very dark places in my mind very rapidly. And so I kind of had to go because, well, something was going to break. And
it's better the job than you.
I mean, there's probably some people who would like me not to walk the face of this earth anymore, but I decided I'd like to keep living. So, and I'm only quarter joking about that because it was leading to some dark places. So,
well, I mean, that's an interesting thing. And literally I had my standard health checkup about 3 months ago. Even with blood pressure medication, my blood pressure was a little on the high end, and I felt really good since starting this YouTube stuff. And then I had to go in for the Korean National Healthcare examination the other day, and it was like 117/71. It's demonstrably reduced my stress level because I'm just not shouting at the walls or keeping it bottled up. This provides a very interesting release to talk to other people about these silly things that annoy me and build up.
And I tell you what, I'm already feeling better. I'm already feeling better just being relieved of it and not having that continuing albatross on me. And I don't talking about these things is difficult because I don't want to come off as unduly Eeyore because I already have this reputation. I don't want to come off as like necessarily like crying for attention or something, but at the same time I want to normalize things, and so it becomes very difficult how to manage these things. Let's move on to other things. How about liquor? Do you like liquor? Let's talk about liquor.
Liquor killed her. It's
Touch.
Yeah, I've got my Colonel E.H. Taylor single barrel going now.
Excellent.
Looks like we're going to kill that. We do have some super chats to burn through again. Wow. Thank you so much, Rock and Roll Tyranno. I like that name, Rock and Roll Tyrannosaur. Happy birthday. My birthday was yesterday. Well, happy July 4th birthday to you. As some of you may have heard, my parents let me, my grandmother's birthday is the 3rd and mine's the 5th. My parents let me believe for the first 6 years of my life that the entire nation was having parades and fireworks to celebrate my birthday.
Excellent.
I remember being extremely crushed when I found out that wasn't the case. And he was also part of a trucking company, like a road construction trucking company. And so they'd use their flatbeds for all the floats. And he would always ride at the head of the parade. So I was always the front one in the parade, throwing candy out to my followers and believers who came out to celebrate my
Excellent.
birthday.
Excellent.
It was
This is
awesome
very-
until it wasn't.
Oh,
That
that
may
sounds
be
pretty good. It's like you get free fireworks for your birthday, and
Yeah, and
You
then
know?
you find out it wasn't really about you, and that leads to a life of crime and becoming a lawyer. It's like the old Spider-Man episode. Yesterday was my birthday, and family would always tell me that the fireworks were all for me. I didn't even read this before I read that. Seriously, dude, parents that do that are fucked up. So at least your family didn't.
Are
Yes,
they?
they did. I just told you how my family lied to me in exactly the same damn way. But my sister's birthday is like the 16th of December. I made the mistake of saying, "Here is your birthday / Christmas present." Apparently, you don't do that to people that have birthdays in December. Mindy, thank you so much for the super sticker. Deeply appreciated. Disinfection. That's a good name too. Thank you so much. I'm late. Happy birthday. You sent this in before the deadline, like 5 minutes before the deadline. Great. But it's always my birthday somewhere for a period of 48 hours. I think that's how time zones work. That's my story. I'm sticking to it. And Alpha, that was what we just did. Alpha Zulu, thank you so much. Happy birthday, sir. Deeply, deeply appreciated all of you. I think I need to have more birthday. God dang, they're still coming in while I'm reading them. They're coming in more. This is like the most awesome looking little dog. Thank you so much for the happy birthday. Stay healthy and beautiful, both of you. Aw, thanks. You're included there, Kurt.
I feel honored.
And Maya 4949 I believe was my very, very first super chat. So thank you so much for the happy birthday wish. I think so. Yeah.
Excellent.
If I recall correctly, if it's not, and you're here who was, and I didn't mention you correctly, please don't hate me. I'm just old. I can't remember these things. Oh, got you out of
If
the
I
way.
did not correctly honor
damn.
you, please donate again so I can make sure that
Yeah.
I use more.
League. That was a good one there. All right. It's just too fucking hot to wear this hat in this house here. I'm gonna get some cool air on me. Starting to warm
Are you
up.
drinking water this time?
I am. I am. That was I still have no recollection of you even being in my lobby that day. Just nothing. And these news stories we're reading today were supposed to be last Friday for the drinkathon I had for fucking Friday. I remember getting through the first one. I've decided these grifting drinkathon things are not all they're cracked up to be. You literally have no recollection.
You have to space them out.
Yeah. The Chappelle Show. Did you ever watch the Chappelle Show back in the day?
Sure.
Remember the R. Kelly video?
Yes, with I need 2 forms of ID with his grandmother saying, "Oh, that's my R. Kelly. That's pissing on that girl." Yeah, I remember.
And this is the R. Kelly "Piss on You" song. This is my commentary on the case. Let's see if this is a bad audio. It's only in one track because someone else has pirated it from Comedy Central. And because it's still here and has been here for 7 years, I think we can get away with it. For those of you that are following up the R. Kelly thing that haven't seen Dave Chappelle's R. Kelly video from way back in the day, this is 2 minutes and 58 seconds of gloriousness. At least in my sick, twisted, perverted mind. That's the, if you haven't seen that and you want to look for some humor in the R. Kelly situation, that's a good video to go to. What would you kill for, Kurt? Is there anything you would kill for in a humorous way, not like, family and things like that?
And am I getting away with it or not?
Let's say yes, but in the case we're going to talk about, no.
If I'm getting away with it, yes, there's quite a lot I'd probably kill for, to be quite honest. It reminds me of I forget the exact context, but I was in law school and we were discussing something on attorney's ethics, and this attorney did this unethical thing and got busted and had it disbarred and everything. It was worth I was like for $5 million or something ridiculous. And so the teacher made the mistake of asking, would anyone else do this? And so I raised my hand. He's like, you would? You do this thing? It's like, for $5 million, I'll send in a copy of my bar license with a ribbon on top. Was apparently the wrong answer.
I have given a couple of those answers in my time as well. I'm kind of a man whore. There's not a whole lot I wouldn't do for the correct dollar sign behind it.
Yeah.
But what about mayonnaise? Would you kill for too much mayonnaise?
No, that's a little no. I know. No.
Well, I think you need to step up your game a little bit, Kurt. Here,
I've
too
read
much
this,
mayo.
No, let's see. No.
You've read this article, huh?
Yeah, things worth killing for, things worth dying for. Mayonnaise is not on the list. I'm sorry.
It's Atlanta, though, so it's probably understandable.
Mm.
They're investigating the shooting that's left one woman dead and another in critical condition at a Metro Atlanta Subway store. The reason for the shooting: too much mayonnaise on a sandwich. And it's not even a dedicated Subway sandwich store. It's one of these Circle K / Subway stores.
Uh-huh.
When the police arrived, they learned that 2 female employees had been shot after a dispute about the amount of mayonnaise on a customer's Subway sandwich. How? And the sad thing was, she had her 5 or 6 year old son there and had to push him under the counter, and she gets blasted for this. How upset? I mean, how stress-filled and stressful does your life have to be where that seems like a legitimate way out? I mean, What is going on that is what made you snap?
I mean, some people say life is cheap, but damn, mayonnaise. I mean, I thought it was worth a little bit more than that.
Seriously, it was probably Miracle Whip or something crappy like that too.
I'm not necessarily opposed to Miracle Whip. Miracle Whip's badass.
Oh, I can't do Miracle Whip.
Okay.
I gotta be a real mayo guy.
All right.
And that's friction between me and my father. He's a Miracle Whip guy. So
you're not going to kill me for it, though. If I give you a sandwich
No.
with Miracle Whip on it.
No. I mean, seriously, it's Korea is such a relatively safe country. I mean, you can walk around at night perfectly safe. You're guaranteed that nothing bad is going to happen to you in Subway other than eating a Subway. And I like Subway sandwiches, so that would be fine for me.
Subway sandwiches used to be okay, but I don't know. They seem, maybe it's just me, but over the last 10 years or something, they just seem to be crap.
They're still good here. I can't eat them in the States because the
workers
don't care.
It's the vegetables, man. They just become watery and like sad.
Here's your watery, sad sandwich. But I mean, how fucked up does your life have to be? And that is what makes you snap. I'm there's times when I'm really, really glad that I don't live in the States, because this is just unheard of here.
Well, it's an aberration for sure, even in the States. I mean, it doesn't exactly happen every day.
But people snap over other minor things like this, and it seems like that's the reaction that everybody has now. The first thing you fight and or take out your camera and start filming it.
Filming thing is
But murder over too much mayonnaise, not the smartest way to go. What do we got here? Hempland, Texas, I guess is how that is. Thank you so much for the birthday grift there. I appreciate that. And the last one that just came in, Catherine Bangle, thank you very, very much. First, happy birthday. Well, thank you very much. Would love to see maritime disasters like Edmund Fitzgerald, Shackleton's Endurance, God bless. Yeah, Edmund Fitzgerald will definitely be on the list, as will the Costa Concordia and other things that you keep calling for.
Titanic.
The Titanic. I want to do like some of the old ones too. The old, stuck in the ice things and the explorer type things. Those are just kind of fun, and weirdly, people are interested in them. So hey, cool. I didn't expect it. But, man, there's just. Are you familiar with the NBA star, the Brittany Griner, that was arrested in Russia for having marijuana with her allegedly?
No.
I would be curious for your take on this case.
All right.
I mean, there's no earth-shattering issues involved. But this case. A WNBA star, Brittany Griner, ordered to stand trial in Russia. Moscow, shackled and looking wary, MNBA star WNBA star Brittany Griner was ordered Monday to stand trial by a court near Moscow on cannabis possession charges about 4.5 months after her arrest at an airport while returning to play for a Russian team. The Phoenix Mercury center and two-time U.S. Olympic gold medalist was also ordered to remain in custody for the duration of her criminal trial, which was set to begin Friday. Griner could face 10 years in prison if convicted on the charge of large-scale transportation of drugs. Fewer than 1% of defendants in Russian criminal cases are acquitted, and unlike the U.S., acquittals can be overturned. At Monday's closed-door preliminary hearing at the Moscow court in Moscow, at the court in the Moscow suburb of Khimki, Griner's detention was extended for another 6 months to December 20th. Photos obtained by the Associated Press show the 31-year-old in handcuffs and looking straight ahead. Unlike a previous court appearance where she kept her head down and covered with the hood, declined to answer questions, blah, blah, blah. Her detention and trial come at an extraordinary low point in Moscow-Washington relations. Griner was arrested.
I don't know if it's extraordinary low point. I mean, what's historical perspective are we using here?
Probably post-Khrushchev and Cuban Missile Crisis, I would imagine. Things were a little bit more tense back then. The international airport less than a week before Russia sent troops into Ukraine, which aggravated already high tensions. Then the Griner support have taken a low profile in hopes of a quiet resolution until May, when the State Department reclassified her as wrongfully detained and shifted oversight. And they talk about possibly doing a prisoner swap. The Russian media have reportedly raised speculation she could be swapped for Russia's arms trader Viktor Bout, nicknamed the Merchant of Death, who is serving a 25-year conviction on conspiracy to kill U.S. citizens and providing aid to a terrorist organization. 4.5 ounces of weed or whatever it was versus the Merchant of Death prisoner swap doesn't really sound like a fair and balanced swap to me. But I mean, this is very, very similar to Korea. The prosecution gets to appeal an acquittal here in Korea, and they don't take you to trial unless they are virtually guaranteed of a conviction. I mean, just again, there's not any great legal issues here, but just as a person on the street, put your person on the street hat for a moment. Do we care that someone has broken a foreign law and is being detained in a foreign country and prosecuted under the foreign country's laws? I tend to say no. I don't care.
I would say that everyone has to respect the laws of the country that they're in. I would say that I guess it would depend partially on the law in question. If their laws are so like anathema to our values, then I guess that would bother me.
I mean, this personally grinds my gears because I've done a lot of these cases. Our firm has worked on a lot of these cases here in Korea. We just stopped doing them because there's no way to win them. You get the this was back when only Canada had legalized marijuana. Well, it's not illegal in Canada. Well, guess where you're not.
Canada's almost like it's a different place. Yeah.
No,
the marijuana thing, it's like, that's not one of those things that whatever I was trying to express, the marijuana being legal or not is not that. I mean, it's not legal technically in the federal level still, and it's not legal in good half the states anyway. So in the United States. So if you try to come to the United States and bring marijuana, you're going to have a bad time.
And I mean, the punishment is almost in Korea. There was really not a major distinction at all between cannabis and crack cocaine or methamphetamines. Drugs are drugs are drugs are drugs.
In Singapore, they can technically execute you for that shit.
Yeah.
They make a note of it. They put it on their customs form in big letters.
Yeah. We had one Singaporean client that had allegedly had someone stash a couple of pounds of methamphetamines into his bag unbeknownst to him. And he on appeal, we got it down to, I think, 7.5 years. And he was still pissed that we didn't get him off. And I'm like, dude, you wouldn't be alive to have this discussion if it happened in your own country. So, but yeah, it's just, you think you're going to get away with it because
if it really was done without his knowledge, I mean, I can understand being pissed. And I believe that's possible. I don't know what's true in his case or not, but I believe it's possible that someone put something in someone's bag, to try to smuggle it through. Why not? So it's like, and if it were me and someone had done that to me and I wasn't getting off on it, yeah, I'd kind of be a little bit pissed too because I didn't do the thing.
Yeah, I
And
think
wouldn't you be a little bit pissed?
yeah, well,
Okay.
I would still be like, I think it was a couple of decades to begin with, and then we got it down to 7.5 years.
Yeah, but I didn't do anything.
Yeah,
So 7.5 years is a lot of time,
yeah.
I don't wanna
he
go to
kinda-
prison for
he
7
kinda did,
years.
though, yeah.
especially for something I didn't do in the first place.
Yeah, assuming he didn't do it, yeah, that would make sense. There's sometimes thinking you didn't do it and not actually doing it might be different.
These are
Yeah.
these are possibilities. Yes, the perception. It's like, well, I thought, well, it should be fine. It's legal in Canada. If his argument is it's legal in Canada, no. If his argument is, yeah, the drugs were in my suitcase. That's a lot different.
Yeah, and it happens when you think that you come from a country that's better and smarter than another country.
This is a good reason not to leave those countries, and one of the reasons on July 4th, July 5th, it's like one of the reasons I say, God bless the USA, because we live in a country where freedom of speech, for example, is legal, and in a lot of the world it is not, and we have a actual criminal justice system that works pretty well, and a lot of the world that's not true. And we have Miranda, which in the rest of the world is decidedly not true, as the U.S. people occasionally find out when they travel overseas.
Yeah, well, the funny thing is they actually call it Miranda rights here in Korea.
That's funny.
The Korea has essentially the same thing, though they call them the Miranda rights.
All right, well, fine.
But it comes straight from Miranda. A lot of the criminal procedure has sort of been brought from the U.S. Some of the maritime and commercial things have come from UK, and most everything is based on German law. Weirdly enough,
Okay,
it's based on Japanese law, and Japanese law was based on German law. So,
is it?
yeah,
Really?
It's very
I didn't know that at all. Japanese law is based on German law.
Yeah, their commercial code is essentially the German commercial code.
Okay, that's interesting. I had no clue.
Probably has something to do with some collaboration they did.
I wasn't going to go
ago.
there. I wasn't going to go there.
But yeah, it's very much a continental thing. It's odd, which is that's the biggest thing is contract is probably the biggest area where we come from the land of the four corners of the contract. It's written in stone by the finger of God, and if it's not in here, it's not in there.
Doesn't exist. Yeah,
but in countries like Korea and other continental systems, that's sort of the beginning point of the relationship.
Yeah,
you'll sell a $10 million house on a quarter sheet of paper. The standard housing contracts, sale and purchase contracts, are about a fourth of a page. I pay you this much money on this day, and you move into the house.
well, I mean, that can work in the U.S. too, because there's just a lot of default terms, right? So, like, you could do that in the U.S. There's just a lot of default things that are going to be just assumed by law if you don't specify otherwise. But if you just want to default law your way into a house sale, you can do it on a quarter page.
Yeah, I do a lot.
You do it on less. In fact, there was
on a napkin.
Exactly, the famous case with the napkin. Exactly so.
Yeah, and I do a lot of seminars and things on contractual negotiations and things where you have to convince one side that the contract may not be everything and the other side that the contract should be everything, and hope they meet in the middle. Because it's a lot of we know we said that in the contract, but that was just kind of the beginning of what we intended it to say. Like, yeah, the other guys don't think that way. And so that's probably the biggest legal cultural issue.
This is yeah. I mean, I'm more of this school of like the contract is kind of the end point. The entire point of the contract is to be the end point. You don't need contracts when everyone's happy, right? Contracts are very specifically for when people are not happy, and then you need some set. As long as everyone is like, this is the problem. Like most business deal, a lot of business deals. Where people go into things like, we don't need contracts. It's like, yeah, you don't. As long as everyone's happy, you don't need contracts. As long as everyone's happy and things are happening, it's like, great. And then when someone becomes unhappy and it's like, oh, there's no contract. Now we have to go figure it out. It's a pain in the ass. Contracts are for when it all falls apart.
And that highlights kind of the cultural difference between, I'll say, Far East Asia, Japan, and Korea and the West. And that's sort of what the Koreans, well, we know this is going to work out. We both want the same thing. So therefore we don't need the detailed contract, because we all agree on the basic points. And if some disagreements come up, we'll work it out because we're friends and best buddies.
Uh-huh.
And then
Yeah.
things go pear-shaped and you're not best buddies anymore. And you're like, well,
It reminds me of when I was with Legal Bites, when we were in LA, and we went out to dinner the day after the wedding, and we went to this, nice Cuban place. And of course, as is typical at a dinner, different people order different things, and and so they give us one check, for the entire table. And now we have to actually split this up, and people are like, okay, is the tip included, is not included? We're going around trying to figure out who owes what. And it becomes a thing. And at one point, we circle the bill around, and everyone's writing the dollar amounts, and it's not enough by the time to cover the whole bill. So it becomes a whole thing. And so at some point in this exercise, I comment, this is exactly why we do not split super chats. This is exactly right here. We do not split super chats, because we do not want to have this fight every single time about, okay, so you were here for this long and you were here for this long, but wait a second, you only have this many subs. You only have this many subs. Oh, but a lot of your subs overlap with mine, so they don't really count. And
if you want to take the simplest task and make it difficult, put about 8 lawyers on it.
and bring money into it.
Oh yeah, and enter the money into the equation there.
Yeah, so it's
but apparently you got it all worked out.
So yeah, no, it all worked out. It wasn't that big a deal. But it's I'm like, this is exactly why, because this conversation we're having right now, and people's feelings are in it, and for over like $10 or $20, which when you feel like you're getting cheated, you still feel like you're getting cheated. But this is exactly why we can't split it. It would never fucking work.
And it doesn't even have to be on that grand of scale. Just get 5 people or 6 people with an odd number of chicken wings to split up.
Well,
you ate one more chicken wing.
Yeah, this is the problem with appetizers, right? It's like, you have 5 people and 6 people at the table, or things like, and then, or even worse, you have 5 people and there's 6 pieces. So who gets the extra piece? And it's a first come, first serve. And someone says they're not hungry. Are they really hungry? Are they going to be bitter about the thing? I mean, yeah, we can't make going out to dinner work. So just fuck it, and it'll all work out itself in the end.
I do have a lawyer friend here, surprise, surprise, who had a similar experience, but at a much deeper level with another lawyer. Apparently, there was a group of 3 or 4 lawyers that went to a restaurant, and they ordered the appetizer, which was like chips and salsa. And the other guy, the one that was the problem, was literally saying, well, I only ate 3 chips. How many chips did you eat? And then he was trying to get the waiter to estimate how many chips are in a bowl. And people are like, dude, it's fucking $3 here. We'll just pay for it. Just be a dick.
Yeah.
But,
yeah. And so this is the problem.
That's why I do separate.
This is how we maintain This is how we've maintained our friendships this long, by not bringing money into it.
Yeah.
And I still got to settle up with Nate the lawyer, because he paid for the rental car and I paid for the hotel, and so we have to still go through and adjudicate that. So it's just bringing money into it, just a pain in the ass.
Yeah, that's why I sort of just kind of do things, and I tell you, it'll work out. You do something for me, and it'll balance out at some point in the future, and hope for the best.
Yeah, and hopefully, people will come to my coverage of the Crumbly trial, and they'll come to my coverage of the Daybell trial, and that will be good for my channel. That's where I'm hoping the karma will distill itself. And it's all in a hope that will happen.
That the Daybell thing is going to be fascinating.
Yeah,
I just wonder how much of the history is going to be allowed in.
Well, yeah, exactly. It's going to be interesting on a whole host of levels, because I've covered a little bit of it, and still I don't feel like I have a really good understanding of what the underlying facts are. Because as you pointed out, when you try to timeline this thing, you just wind up on a corkboard with string. It's like, okay, because it's just like, okay, this and this relationship with the attempted assassinations, and they're wanted in this day and this day and that state, and it's like, So I'm like, is someone dead? It's like, what are the facts exactly? So most of the time I go into these trials that we've done with a pretty decent understanding of the facts. And also I go into a pretty decent understanding of what the witnesses are going to look like. Because, you've seen enough of these trials. You can kind of put together a picture in your head. Like the one we just did with the woman with the decapitation and stuff. It's like, okay, I have a reasonable idea what that's going to look like. I have a reasonable idea what is the officer going to testify to about their interrogations. What is the medical examiner going to testify to? What is the defense's medical people going to testify about? What are their witnesses going to say? Who's going to say this? Who's going to say this? Like, you have a reasonably good idea, like kind of what it looks like in your head. And then it just becomes the execution of the thing, where it's like, well, how do you actually put it together and how do you actually execute on that, where it becomes interesting. For the Daybell thing, it's like, I don't know. I don't know.
Everything's off the table.
Who's going to testify? I don't know. What are they going to say? I don't know. What's the medical examiner going to say? I don't know. I don't know. So it's going to be a kind of a surprise for me, and I think that there's at least some chance the prosecution just fucks it up because the story is like trying to figure out how to tell a coherent. The prosecution could very easily get lost in like the mire and muck of it all, and just wind up in a point of total confusion. So, like, even if you're convinced that Daybell and Vallow did it, it's like there's real chances here for the prosecution to fuck it up, just because it's like, what? How do you decide how to tell this story? It's something you actually have to really think through. It's not something I'd want to try to like improv. I could try to improv some of these trials, and this one I'm like, that's okay.
I mean, when it was all happening, I remember reading the news stories and reading, knowing early on that when your child are missing and you don't want to talk to anyone, either you're a religious crazy, you're responsible, or a little bit of both, maybe. But then, as you said, when you start looking into it, and the tale just gets weirder and weirder and weirder and more tangential and less, things should make more and more sense as it goes along, not less and less sense.
Yeah.
And
as I'm definitely in the less and less sense category. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's a very, very good question. How do you, I think if the prosecutors told the story, at least the way I vaguely understand it, and you just told it as a narrative in court, the jury would look at you like you were out of your damn mind, because nothing could possibly be this insane. I think you run a serious risk of being too accurate with the facts and getting lost in them and end up looking like you're the crazy one.
Yeah. So I think it could go a whole different ways. And then, of course, assuming that, the Daybells really luck out and somehow they're not guilty, they're still awaiting charges in Arizona, and New Mexico probably wants a piece of them, and the feds probably want a piece of them, and they're going to jail eventually. It's just a question of who and when,
where, when, and how long.
When, how long. Yeah. So we'll see how that all pans out, I suppose.
Oh, we have a Korean donation. You're in Korea for work, and I work in the U.S. for the past 20 years. Enjoy your content and happy birthday. Thank you, Yang Jung Gil. Deeply appreciated. And maybe we'll swap spots again some point. And Brandon, again, God, thank you so much. Don't just stare at it, drink it. Well,
no, we got to teach legal vices the virtue of moderation. So that's why I'm here. I'm here to help.
Yeah. So you need you here in the morning, so you don't encourage me. Zach, thank you so much. The Shabizna stuff happened in my city. Legitimately could not believe the stuff happened. Also, damn, that girl was lazy with hiding evidence. Well, yeah, when she's like, "Oh crap, the head. Why did I forget the head?" Yeah, that's a bad thing. Do you like Starbucks?
It's all right.
Do you like it? Do you like it enough to share the pastor's story? Are you familiar with the pastor's story?
Not the way you're alluding to it, no.
All righty then. That would be this case here. The Central Florida pastor performed sex acts on himself on the Starbucks patio.
I missed this one.
How would you like to be the person putting the handcuffs on him after that? That's why you wear gloves. I guess. Hey, Kissimmee, that's a great
Kissimmee,
name for a town.
Isn't it?
Is it? It's
Kissimmee?
There's no N in there. It looks like just like Kissimmee. It looks like. who teaches online ministry classes, was arrested Monday for exposing himself and performing an sex act on himself at a Starbucks store. These Indian names: Osceola County Sheriff's Office. You've been over in that neck of the woods. Does that sound about right? Osceola.
Osceola.
Could be. We're called to the store on the West O Parkway between John Young Parkway and Orange Blossom Trail on May 9th. Deputies investigated the report and found that a Kissimmee man named Enijo Dali Muñez Colon, unfortunate last name there, was on the subject of their investigation. Investigators said Muñez Colon previously had similar charges that happened at the same store.
The fact that it's the same store is an interesting detail.
He really
he really likes that particular Starbucks.
He gets loyalty.
Everyone has their thing, and he definitely has his thing. So, ookie.
On Monday, the deputies arrested Muñez Colon and charged him with exposure of sexual organs. Pipe organs, I guess. Muñez Colon is being held on a $1,000 bond in the county jail.
Okie doke.
That's how you love Starbucks. Legal trouble in religion land. There's no shortage of that. It's a fast food night here. Another quickie story, which is going to land someone in hot water.
Did you send me that thing yet, by the way?
Oh, no, I will.
Do it now. Send it to me now. Send me the email. With the complaint, please. Please.
Let's. I would be inclined to go over it with you now, but you need your own personal stream for that. That is just too awesome to not get in depth into. Let me pull you up here. Okay. Compose. Taylor Shabusiness. Isn't that? If you're going to change your name, that's what you change your name to. Shabusiness. Taylor Shabusiness. Here is the complaint. I spelled complaint and the wrong. 50% spelling error. Here's the complaint. Add that. Yeah, it's Thank you. I think it's about 6 pages, so it's easy to get through in one sitting.
Unfortunate.
But it's a very, very graphic 6 pages. Where are you, Taylor? Oh, I gave Taylor her own. Oh man, is it on my? Oh no, where are you, Shabusiness? Uh-oh. I am unable to send it to you right now. It is on my hard drive that the power cord went out on yesterday. I cannot access it right now. Damn it. I sent it to Nick. I sent it to Nick the other day. Let me forward it to you from the email I sent to Nick. Hey, I'm and it's also got a.
Did you see Nick boomering it up last night?
Yeah,
he boomered it up hard.
That was
just an hour of pain. I'm gonna send Nick some audio cables.
You got off to a rough start. All righty, there is the email. And open that thing up. Hit the forward button. Hang on, let me download one thing here real quick. So we'll throw that up on the screen in a second. Boom.
Is your mic the MV7? Sure. Is that, or is it the nice one? Oh yeah, it's the MV7, the USB one. Yeah, it's the same one that Legal Bytes uses. That's cool.
Yeah, it's pretty darn nice.
Yeah.
It's apparently everyone uses Shure, and I did not know that.
Shure is extremely popular. Yeah, the like the big boy one, is the RX, or because that's the MV, and then the big boy one everyone uses, like it's
the wireless one.
No, the one with the funny wire coming out of it that like Joe Rogan uses and stuff like that. Yeah, it's a very, very popular microphone. That's Shure. SM7B. Thank you. Yeah, you can send to uncivillawYT@gmail.com.
uncivillawYT@gmail.com.
Yeah. So yeah, the SM7B is extremely popular microphone. I used the Rode NT1A, which I picked up at a pawn shop actually, which was
But
pretty
I
cool.
did get these on your recommendation. These are nice.
Yeah, those sure ones, they are nice. Yeah.
All right. The email is away.
Thank you, sir. You are a gentleman and a scholar.
Oh, gentleman gave up being a scholar a long time ago. That's your department. You're smarter than I am. Let's see if I can pull this. Her picture. I attached her picture to the email. I was going to throw it up here for the crowd, but can't really remember where I downloaded it to. I thought I downloaded it here, but apparently I didn't. Oh well. It's not in the downloads file. Damn it. Should have paid attention to where I was downloading it to. It's somewhere on my hard drive, but yeah, it is away to you. It has a picture of her along with the complaint. She is a finely made up young lady.
Okay.
It's in the recordings file. Okay, let me bring up her picture here. Here's the recordings, contents, recordings. There is the fine young lady. Open that thing up. And where is the share the window? There needs to be a better thing out there than StreamYard somewhere. You use the OSB, right? OBS?
Yeah, OBS. Yeah, OBS. It's not great for guests. It's great for solo because the audio management is much better because it all happens locally. StreamYards is not that great.
It looks like an extremely steep learning curve though for the
OBS.
The
I mean,
OBS,
it can be a little bit. Yeah. So I'm really hoping one of these competitors will take on because there was the one that Eric Hunley was using. The problem with that one is it limits your streaming time. It limits it to something ridiculous. Even under their most generous plan, it limits your streaming time. I forget what it is, but it's like even under their most generous plan, I'm like, this is not enough time. A StreamYard doesn't really limit your streaming time.
This is our lovely young lady here in one of the better pictures. Yeah. Wouldn't kick her out of bed for eating cookies the first time. Oops, wait, there you are. Oop. But I have pretty low standards, so just saying.
Well, I mean, you hang out with me.
Well, hey, you're doing the same, so back at you. We had a comment here, did we? Oh no, I think we're all caught up on the super chats. Cool. Well, dang.
All right. Well, I'm going to sign off for now because I do have some errands to run.
Okay.
But happy birthday, my friend.
Well, thank you very much, sir,
you enjoy yourself. And don't forget to, just go outside and, enjoy life.
I will. We'll talk to you later, sir. Have a great day.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for stopping by. Bye. Sad to see Kurt go. Hope I didn't bore him out of here, but he takes a more scholarly approach. I am sort of a lowest common denominator guy. Who is she? Asked VJ. That is Taylor Shabusiness, the one we've been talking about that chopped up her boyfriend and pleasured herself with his organs and pleasured his, well, I don't know if his corpse was pleasured, but got into his corpse with the units and things. But yeah, that's her. That is Taylor Shabusiness, who has pleaded not guilty. She is going to trial on October 19th. I cannot wait for that. That's going to be good. Melinda, thank you so much. That is deeply appreciated. An empty comment. That's great. Thanks a bunch. Deeply appreciate all of the gifts you guys are giving tonight. This is awesome. Appreciate all of the likes and the subscriptions. We're up to 22,054 at this point. We've gained a few as time went on. That is deeply, deeply, deeply appreciated. I'm getting birthday messages from people on my phone. All right. Well, where do we go from a pastor pleasuring himself at a Starbucks? Well, there's only one place you can go from Starbucks, and that's McDonald's. Let's pay a visit, see what's happening at McDonald's these days. Close that. Or do we just have to work right? Nah, get out of here. I don't want to show that guy's face. Fuck off. Man eating Big Mac at Texas checkpoint was suspicious. Feds say he was smuggling meth. Okay, this is a little interesting bit of detective work, this particular case. And I highlight it because a lot of times we think the police are stupid and the police are incompetent and the police are idiots and they don't know how to do their job and they're not great investigators. There, I had to turn down the gain on my microphone. It creeped up at some point. But the people that do investigate drug crimes and things like that, that is all they do all day, every day of their professional life. They know what they're doing. We may think they're stupid, but sometimes they're they say crazy like a fox. These people were on point with noticing suspicious behavior, something I wouldn't have thought of, but the police apparently did. So this is not the burger in question. This is a burger in question. A man took his first bite of what appeared to be a McDonald's Big Mac while at a Texas Border Patrol checkpoint, and at least one agent found that odd, according to federal authorities. Why would that be odd? Why would a policeman find eating a sandwich at a Border Patrol checkpoint odd? Because the nearest McDonald's was more than 60 miles south of the Falfurrias Border Patrol station. It was unusual that someone would wait until the exact moment they got to the checkpoint to start eating, officials said in the criminal complaint. So there you go. He said, okay, here's a guy eating a sandwich. Here's a guy eating a Big Mac, I guess, or eating a burger from McDonald's. The nearest McDonald's was 60 miles south of where you were. You waited 60 miles? You waited until exactly when you get to the checkpoint to start eating the burger? They found that suspicious. And now that I think about it, that would be unusual too. You order food when you're hungry. And you usually eat it straight away. You don't wait 60 miles and then suddenly start eating at the checkpoint. The hungry Texan was found to be smuggling meth that July 2020 day, authorities say, and now he is headed to prison. Yen Sun Huang, a Taiwanese citizen who was living in Austin, was sentenced to 7.5 years in federal prison, followed by 3 years of supervised release, according to a June 27th news release from the U.S. Attorney's Office in the Southern District of Texas. He will also lose his U.S. resident status and likely be deported following his release. That will most definitely happen. The sentencing follows Huang's guilty plea on November 3rd. His defense attorney declined to provide a comment to McClatchy News. Huang was a passenger in a vehicle crossing through the checkpoint on July 4th, 2020. Hey, it's exactly 2 years from the date the crime occurred. According to the news release, that's when officers noticed he displayed suspicious behavior by eating a cheeseburger immediately upon arrival. While an agent was conducting an immigration inspection, a service canine detected narcotics, according to court records. The car was sent to a secondary inspection, and the 3 occupants were asked to step out. Huang was patted down, and officials say an agent felt a brick-like object stretched around each thigh. Hey, is that a brick of meth, or are you just happy to see me? Asked the officer. Just kidding, that wasn't part of it. So he's got some hard objects strapped to the thigh there. Huang was patted down, and officials say he felt a brick-like object strapped around each thigh. He would not answer what those bricks might be. So he was taken inside for a thorough search. Records state Huang was asked to pull his jeans down, and agents found 3 bundles taped to his legs. The man admitted to hiding meth, authorities said. The 3 bundles later tested positive for 738.56 grams of meth. The driver of the vehicle told authorities his roommate asked him to pick up Huang and the other passengers in McAllen, according to court records. He said he asked them if they had narcotics with them, and they both said no. The other passenger said he didn't know Huang was carrying meth and reported she wasn't involved in the operation. Well, of course, that's what you would say. Huang will be transferred to a U.S. Bureau of Prisons facility to serve his sentence. The Falfurrias Border Patrol Station is about 75 miles north of McAllen and the Rio Grande River. So, yeah, sometimes trying not to be suspicious looks very suspicious. That's a very interesting point. He, I'm still not sure what the link between the burger and the meth is, but he did something that triggered them. Maybe that was the deal. Maybe that was the plan. Was, hey, if we just like act like we're eating a burger, maybe they will just think we're normies and not drug smugglers. But where do we have here? Persco Studio asks, so pay to imprison him, then kick him out. Why not deport now? The answer to that is he did a crime. He must do the time. He earned himself a criminal conviction. You have to serve the time, and then they deport you. Zach Frisch, thank you so much again for the super chat. Happy birthday, man. Always appreciate your presence here. Always welcome. We love you. All of you viewers. Everybody is awesome. Let me have to type one quick thing here. All right. Yeah, it was a decent birthday. Worked, came home. I recorded a video for later release, and then it came here. So it's been pretty chill today. That's the one thing. Like I'm leaving for the States for 2 weeks on 16th of July, and I'll come back to Korea on the 31st of July. But while I'm gone, I'm sort of pre-recording some things to release during that time. Some whiskey tastings, a couple of visits around places here in the country, and another one of my legal vices is pipes. I have a pipe maker friend in Finland, and I just recorded an hour interview with him that I'll be releasing while I'm gone. He's a great guy. He's a great Finnish guy. He's a heart of gold. He's a master pipe maker, and he does a lot of work for youth mental health issues in Finland. He donates a lot of his time and a lot of things and a lot of money to those efforts. And so I bought a new pipe from him, and every time I buy a pipe from him, we do an unboxing and a first smoking video on Instagram. But now that I've started this, I said, hey, let's do it on YouTube. So yeah, I'll probably release that sometime about 2 weeks from now. I recorded it today. The audio is horrifically bad, so everybody is going to listen to it and hate it. But the good thing is, it's great. He's outside in the middle of some forest in Finland on a lake shore by his lake house recording this video. So it's the audio is pretty bad, but it's a really, really, really good story. And his girlfriend and I share a birthday, so it was kind of fun to talk to him on that day. But yeah, this pipe here that I'm not going to show until the video. I'm looking at this little pipe here. It came in the mail today, and we set it up. The one I had on Twitter a few days ago. Did I have a pipe maker on Twitter a few days ago? Oh, the pipe I had on Twitter. I can't remember what pipe I had on Twitter a few days ago. Oh, for the race, the F1 race. Now that is a monster pipe from a pipe maker in Texas called Lonely Crow. The Finnish guy didn't make that pipe. That was made by a guy in Texas. And again, thank you for all of the videos that are coming in. All the videos, all of the happy birthday wishes that are coming in. It's deeply appreciated, and you're all awesome. And I continue to appreciate all of the well wishes, all of the gifts, all of the super chats and whatnot, super stickers, the likes and subscribes. We've got 369 likes. We're down to about 287 peeps as we rock on. An hour and 50 minutes into this. We're still going pretty strong here. What do y'all think about watching smash up videos? These aren't necessarily shipping accidents. These are just massive fail videos. Excuse me. Mhm. There was a let's see here. Where's the yeah? It's a video called "Expensive Fails." I thought it was kind of funny. Let's look at an expensive fails video. It's kind of in the lines of the shipping video that we do on Monday, the ship collisions, the shipping accidents, and sinkings and whatnot. But this is just sort of ordinary object fails. This is one that I found while I was searching for ship collision videos, and I thought it was amusing enough to highlight it. And let's see, why can't we maximize this? There we go. Boom. All right. These are expensive fails, is what the video is called. Again, so this is just for entertainment's sake, not for any analysis. Let's just start. It's kind of fun.
In an effort to prevent a deadly collision, this cement truck ejects hundreds of pounds of concrete atop a Jeep.
That is just satisfying. You know, I mean, look at that. Any asshole that tries to turn left on a double yellow line in front of a dump truck gets a exterior decoration. I mean, this ass clown. I fucking hate people that do that. And I mean, there's already been one dump truck up here. If you look up there, there's already been one dump truck that's passed the scene. So this is like a parade of dump trucks. And dumbass here tries to beat this is how I broke both of my arms on my motorcycle in one accident, by the way. My last motorcycle accident was breaking both of my arms. I would be the dump truck in that scenario. Ass clown decides to turn right. He decided to make a U-turn right in front of me. He started making the U-turn the same way this ass clown is trying to cut across the lanes of traffic. And then he sees this car coming and goes, oh, fuck, there's a car coming. I better stop. And then he gets a shit ton of concrete poured on him, as he deserves. This is a satisfying video. That is, I hate drivers. I'm the only good driver on the road. Just like George Carlin said, anyone driving slower than you is an idiot, and anyone driving faster than you is a maniac. I'm the only good driver on the road.
Collision. This cement truck ejects hundreds of pounds.
Oh shit, there's a car coming. Have fun washing that off, bitch.
A high-end steakhouse cook gets sassy with hot oil and ends up triggering the fire sprinkler system.
That's funny. There's some comped meals you have to make and a little bit of water damage. I don't currently ride because my boss said he would fire me if I got on a motorcycle again because he pays me to work and not be hospitalized. So yeah, setting your restaurant on fire is probably a way to lose your job. It's a way for your insurance premiums to go up, and you have to comp a shit ton of meals. As a consumer of adult beverages, as someone who enjoys their wine and whiskey, this hurts. This video truly hurts. I love this video. Yeah, there you go. Make sure it's in park and it's not stopping there. Bye, truck.
This drunk dude explodes a giant bottle of champagne worth $2,000 when
I've never understood this sabering of champagne anyway. I've never understood this. I don't get it. I don't see what it's all about, but apparently this really cool thing is to chop the end of your bottle off with a large knife or saber. But enjoy your $2,000 bottle of wine here, buddy.
he epically fails to uncork it with a deadly sword.
And I hope the guy holding the bottle's hands weren't chopped off as a result of that. Dang. The Surreal Goose, thank you so much for the donation. Happy birthday, bro. I'm so glad you started up this show. It gives me something to have on while I do my mind-numbing job. Well, we're doing videos now, so that might not be the most interesting thing for your mind-numbing job. But hey, glad you're here, and thank you so much for the gift. It is deeply, deeply, deeply appreciated. And Execation, thank you again for the 20-pound donation. Happy birthday, old man. Search YouTube for Survivor's Guide to Prison. Would be a really good stream to watch with your opinion. Knock one back for me, bruv. Here's to many more birthdays. The Survivor's Guide to Prison. Okay. That sounds interesting. If you would be a champ and email me that, because I won't write it down. I mean, I won't remember it. And if I write it down, I'll lose the paper, because that's the kind of guy I am. Send it to thelegalvices@gmail.com, or send it to me on Twitter at thelegalvices at Twitter. I will definitely give it a look. I'll try to remember, but that's the best way for me to remember something. All right. What can possibly go wrong with this beautiful, beautiful tomahawk steak? And for those of you keeping score, a friend of mine here in Korea gifted me with an amazing dry aged tomahawk steak that hopefully I'll be able to get around to eating tomorrow or Thursday. It looks so good. So what could possibly go wrong with this beautiful tomahawk steak? That can go wrong. That's when you know it's well done. It just slides off the bone. Ow. I don't know why I find these things. And it's funny because, you know, she knows she was just going to run across it. Apparently not thinking it might be wet. She was going to run across it, but it has this barrier here, all of these full water bottles with rope tied around them. And she totally got tripped up on the rope and the water bottles. Oh, I'm sorry, little kid, but this is hilarious. Wham! Oh, there you go. And that looks like it could have happened in Korea. And oh, the other thing is she's not just falling down and ruining the lovely job that's being done here. And of course, as you can see, she did not hurt herself. Not only did she leave her imprint in this lovely concrete job, the water is also pouring into the concrete and thereby fucking up the concrete to probably a disastrous level. The granite tabletop. There goes a few $1,000s. Nom nom nom.
Wicked wind gusts managed to propel this small plane
Aviation.
into the sky for a pilotless crash landing.
Oh. Ladies, wouldn't you just murder the son of a bitch at this point? If your big dumbass man was taking you through a mud puddle and dropped you in your wedding dress, wouldn't you just kill him? Now, what you're looking at right here is a phobia of mine. This is a phobia of mine. I utterly, utterly detest, hate, loathe, and fear glass top tables. When I first got married way back in the dark ages, the only thing we could afford was like a really shitty round glass table. It lasted about 4 days until I set something hard, like I think it was a full glass of water or something, or a coffee cup. Just hit the wrong place on the wrong table. I mean, on the table at the wrong angle. Not even hard. just hit some sort of weird, weak resonant point, and it shattered the fuck out of the table. And ever since then, glass top tables have scared the shit out of me. And okay, VJ says they had a glass table. Would you let your son climb on top of a glass table? Why they would even do this? This is the stupidest thing I've ever seen. But they did it. Oops. Oh, email sent. Thank you so much. Boom. Oh, he broke the screen. Oh, no. Crack.
Oh, God.
Here's another one for you ladies. And again, thank you. Thank you again. Execation here. The predictable thing here is about to happen. So ladies, what happens if this is your actual goddamn wedding and this happened? This is your wedding. What do you do when this happens?
Oh, my. No. No.
What do you do? What do you do when you pull out the wedding ring and the dumbass drops it and it bounces off into the little lake behind you? Would that ruin your wedding? Would that be the end of the wedding? Never pull it out over water or a steep ledge. No, seriously, it's like, I mean, because I would do something like this. Like if I'm walking across like a sewer grate or something like that, I never have anything in my hands. Because I have these weird phobias of things like this. Like I'm walking on a sewer grate or something and I drop my car keys. So I never have anything in my hands when I'm walking on grating or close to areas like this. That would suck.
Watch this goofball hop
And this is what you just call a fucking idiot. This asshole deserved this and a lot worse.
on the windshield of his murked out Lambo to flex, but instead cracks his windshield.
But if you can afford a Lambo, you can probably afford the window. And to those of you that are looking at this car, this beautiful Ferrari on this lift, yeah, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. That might damage your suspension a little bit. And hey, how do you knock a chimney down? Well, I guess you just knock it down. Oops.
Behind you.
I hope that was like some
When the
expensive
stilts of
shit.
this house get taken out by storm surf, it gets dry docked and decimated by an angry ocean.
Yeah, bye house. And that's why you don't stop quickly in front of large trucks. That went all that concrete went straight through the back window of that little van. Road rage does not pay. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. And there's another one for you.
This worker is left
There-
defeated
there's
after
another
an
one for
epically
ya.
failed attempt to place a $1,000 glass table on its side.
I really hope that table didn't cost $1,000 because that's the stupidest $1,000 table I've ever seen in my life. I hope it was like a $30 IKEA table. Zach Frisch says, I was the best man and carried the wedding ring. Weirdly stressful. Seriously, I would not do it. Well, I literally put it in my safe and messaged him the combo just in case. Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I'm weirdly paranoid about that kind of shit. I just know something is going to go wrong all the time because I'm kind of a klutz. And that happens to me a lot. So, yeah. Goodbye, $1,000 table. More chimney action. Anyone? Looks like a brand new house. Either that or they're re-roofing it. I don't know, but chimney. And what is it with granite tabletops and things? And dude is lucky he's alive. I guess there are some merit. I love these kind of stupid, shitty boat things. I love these kind of boat things where people are sitting around, not wearing their safety gear, doing dumb shit in a boat, speeding, doing crazy stuff, and then unfortunate things happen to them. I love watching those. I think they're kind of funny. Oops. What are we doing here? All right. Hit the wave. Boom. Ah.
This bro attempts to crush a can with his custom hydraulic system, but
Custom hydraulic system. The dumb shit people do for no reason whatsoever. This is dumb. And this shows what a piece of shit your car is.
ends up crushing his front end.
I don't know, sir. You may have a flat. It might not be driving steadily. If you don't already know, please understand that this driver cannot even see this car. This is perfectly in the blind spot. He has no idea this car is going to squish in here, and therefore does not get to stop. Boom. There you go. Took out the tire of the
reasons
truck.
unknown, this aggro drunk dude fends off his girlfriend only to physically assault a fleet of luxury rides.
And that guy just needs to be beat to death with a club. Take out the window and a water pipe. Oh, that's okay. You didn't really want to restore your Corvette, did you? You didn't really want us to take care of the Corvette, do you? How do you explain that one to the owner? Your body work is going to take a little longer than we thought. Oh, we've got Law Talk with Mike here.
Hello.
What's
How you
up?
doing?
I'm doing quite awesome. How about yourself?
Good. But I've been running around like a maniac. I just wanted to pop on and say happy birthday.
Oh, that's great. Oh, geez, we've got Legal Mindset too here. You both
Oh,
joined
no.
at the same time.
I woke back up. What's going on, Moses?
Great.
You know,
both
I'm
joined.
going to invade Korea and see both you guys.
You definitely
Yes.
need to come here.
It's the land of the based, Mike.
It is. You just get to be you, and people like it. They like manly men.
Well, then I'm all about it.
Yes, yes. Mike is a very manly man.
How's things in Chicago?
Pretty good. Well, we had a rough 4th of July with
Yeah.
all that stuff. Yeah.
With the ultra MAGA guy who's super definitely a Trump supporter, and yeah.
He doesn't look like the most conservative of folks.
It's sad. I heard that I was in the Uber on the way back from O'Hare, coming back, and the driver says, "It's okay, because this is horrible." And I said, "Yeah, I want to know what's going on," because I didn't know. And that was my first thought. It's like, all right, we're going to go straight to politicizing this nonsense.
Right. It was immediately politicized. Like it wasn't 5 seconds before it was politicized.
Well, it's always Trump and guns, and then never mind, it's just guns. But Trump's the problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Versus that was making me crazy. I'm very familiar with Highland Park too. I used to live in Lake Forest, which is if you're it's just north of Highland Park. I spent a lot of time, like I'd have to go to Highland Park to get stuff all the time, so it was very personal to me. Sorry, I didn't mean to drag down your happy birthday stream.
Shit, man.
We spent the first 20 minutes with Ron and Kurt discussing the Supreme Court issues. So,
which ones?
The alleged delegitimization of the court, and then AOC's rant on the Colbert Report. Or the Colbert.
People still wait. That's still a thing. The Colbert Report is still a thing.
No, the late night with Stephen Colbert. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
I'm old. It's all the same to me. I would say young whippersnapper.
I don't have to. I know what they would say.
She literally said everything wrong.
Yeah.
It's the same thing every single time. I really used to enjoy like old Jon Stewart, like old Jon Stewart, when he would like attack everybody and he like savaged, like, it doesn't matter what political party you are, he's making fun of you. But then it became so predictable and the humor became so predictable, it's not even humor anymore.
Well, that's what Ron Coleman was saying at least, what's his face? Bill Maher will occasionally say, left, you're fucked up right now.
Occasionally.
Yeah. He's at least willing to consider there are other viewpoints.
It does make a headline whenever Bill Maher says it, though, because it's so seldom that it's headline material.
And we're after the 2-hour mark, so feel free to be you.
I'm all right. I got my Makali here, so we're good.
And how's things up north in Seoul?
It's good, man. It's a hot girl summer already here in Seoul. So I mean, it's hot as fuck is what I mean. I came from good weather in America to swamp ass and sweaty balls here in Korean Seoul. But you know what? I love it. We had a really cold winter, so I'm not going to complain about the summer at all.
Well, this is shitty Florida weather though. It's like 85 degrees and 100% humidity. It's just nasty.
Man, I don't know, man. When I was last in Miami, it was beating this, but I mean, we'll see. We'll see.
Well, Chicago gets pretty humid too. There being lakefront property and all.
Well,
quickly
I
here,
got a house in Chicago and Florida. Florida is humid, man. Florida is. Woo.
We have the ocean. We have the
ocean though. Is in Florida, you're always in shorts and flip flops or whatever. The problem in Chicago is it'll get just blazing hot, 98 degrees or something, and you're in a dark suit walking through a concrete jungle. It's a different level of hot. Only a couple days a year, but when it happens, it's brutal.
We got to thank Kitty Cat here for the birthday donation again. Jesus, take the wheel. No, not that one. But we're just reviewing expensive video, like expensive fails on video at this point. We just watched a luxury Corvette on a lift suddenly become off the lift.
I love that. You know what's funny too is a lot of those being in Miami, a lot of those like Lambos and luxury cars and all that, they're all either leased or they're rented.
Yeah.
So those people don't actually have the money to pay for it, which is glorious.
And Zach Freeze throwing another coin to the Witcher. Yo, Mike, I'm currently going down your wild court moments and soft citizen craziness. Love the content, mate. Keep it up.
Thank you, Zach. That's awesome.
And thank you for giving me the money to tell him that.
It's my birthday gift to you via Zach.
Well, thanks. Okay. All right. Thanks for that. There, yeah. No, I get what you're saying. The worst decision I ever made in my life was when I was in Dubai on business a few years ago. It was somewhere around the end of May, and the lawyers, the colleague lawyers that were living there, like, well, what are you doing for the rest of the afternoon? I'm like, I think I'm gonna go walk over to the world's largest department store. Was the world's largest mall, I guess it is. And like, no, you want to take the subway there. I'm like, I need the exercise. It's only like a mile down the road. Like, no, you want to take the subway. I'm like, come on, I'm not a pussy. I took the subway back. By the time I got there, I literally had salt stain lines on the sleeves of my jacket and my shoes, and I was so fucking dehydrated. I thought, okay, I guess I should listen to the locals. that was awful. But
you tried to be a badass, man. You tried to be a badass.
I did the same thing one time in Cancun. I'm like, it was same story. It was like, it's a half mile to this little thing I'm going to, and at the front desk, nice hotel too. And they're like, no, you're not walking there. I'm saying, yeah, I'm going to do it. Oh, it was brutal. I took a taxi back. Absolutely.
Marloka gives a $20 super sticker, and we have a Brandon Lesko donation again. Can we get Adam fired up in your mindset?
It is not hoodie season right now, guys. You may get like summer bro Adam version. I don't know what that is, but the hoodie is permanently stored right now. Got the AC cranking. Yeah, it is not hoodie season, guys.
Well, Mike, you do the sovereign citizen things. Did you do the story last week of the sovereign citizen that was arrested after they found a bunch of explosives on him?
I mentioned it in the stream. I just read it because I didn't have video.
Yeah, there's no video of it, but yeah,
I really like the video.
What type of explosives was it? Are you talking tannerite here? Or are we talking like, we got a fertilizer
military grade explosives.
What do you got here? Vehicle code violations, Joshua Tree National Park. So maybe he was going after Amber Heard's house. Could be it. Sovereign citizens are a fringe group whose members exempt themselves from U.S. law and sometimes use violent tactics to justify their belief.
That is the one argument that Amber Heard did not put in her ridiculous motion to set aside. She did not use the argument. I think she should just go ahead and use the argument. It's about as fucking ridiculous as the First Amendment allows me to say whatever I want to say.
I do not consent to joinder with Johnny Depp.
Right. Yeah, there you go.
But yeah, they found live ammunition.
Joined her with a lot a lot. Let's do it.
Hey, at the same time, Mike. At the same time.
That's like the old Star Trek. There was on the old Dr. Demento show. It was called the Starship Intercourse. It was kind of a parody. It's like Captain Kirk, you can't do that in here. That's a broom closet. Well, but we're engaged, sir. We'll disengage and get back to your posts. But yeah, the deputies found live ammunition, black gunpowder, and an improvised military-grade explosive device inside the car.
I just got one. Somebody tweeted me one, which is like a whole new. By the way, I got pushed into that from this trial, and that's like a whole new front, and it's really cool. But somebody tweeted me one, and I haven't seen it yet. Apparently, there's a sovereign citizen who's a furry. I'm like, I got to get into this.
Yes. There is. Of course there is. Of course there is.
But I need video. I need video of that.
The unfortunate problem with that is those furry suits are too thick to tase, probably.
It's automatic tase protection. Yeah.
But they're getting a cavity search afterwards.
Well, that's probably why they're doing that. They're volunteering for the cavity. Can I have a cavity search?
Well, that's why they put the diaper on the furry suit, right? Because when you make it baby fur, it becomes even better.
Did either of you guys catch Drex on Ricada's stream earlier?
He's on my stream. He's coming on my stream. Not tonight Eastern Standard Time, but tomorrow night Eastern Standard Time. So
you need to go over the video that he went over Nick with from these two guys that had been in prison.
Were
these
they
two
furries?
black guys. No, they were definitely well-based and unbreaded black gentlemen who had a lot to say about prison and what happens to orifices in prison.
Yeah.
It was beautiful how they laid this video out, and it was all this. It was done under the pretext of, I guess they were talking about some cool prison stories, and like, well, now we don't want the kids to think prison is cool, and then they went off on this rant for like 10 minutes that was epic. It was one of the funniest things I've seen on video in a long, long time. But what are you up to, Legal Mindset?
No, man, I'm chilling, bro. I was going over the Amber Heard motion to set aside earlier.
Yeah.
I got some fucking interviews this week. This should be interesting. I've got Ari Jacob, who's suing Taylor Lorenz, which is she's coming on my show tomorrow.
Oh,
Then I
that's
got
interesting.
We're going to talk about BDSM. We're going to talk about the bad girl room and all that sort of good stuff, the fun stuff, right? That I believe that, by the way, I believe, look, you want to do bloodletting, you want to do dress code, you want to do bad girl room, you want to do all that stuff. I believe it's all right. I am going to go over a little bit of the case law for BDSM because not a lot of people have reviewed the BDSM case law. Like there's actually case law around BDSM. So I've got that. And then I'm doing a Second Amendment panel on Thursday night because I haven't had a chance to like go in on the gun control bill. Because I think a lot of people were running around and I think, Mike, you were there when I was like going in on it when I was sort of drunk and I was like, yeah, New York rifle and pistol doesn't matter for shit. And I think that like pissed people off. But compared to the gun control measures that are going down in just not at a federal level, but at a state level, frankly, I don't think it matters. So yeah, that's my personal opinion. We'll get into that on Thursday night though.
Ooh, that'll be hot with this last incident too.
Well, what's your take on that, Mike?
Well, you know, the Second Amendment's been winning lately, which is shocking. But you know, I don't know. With all these incidents, and the politics around it, we'll see.
I think it's going to start losing at a local level and it's going to start losing at a state level. And I think that the problem is that when at a state level they take an action, it takes years for the Supreme Court to review it. And in that interim, it's typically prohibited behavior, or at least something that's, highly frowned upon. And not only that, but the cultural because of the mainstream media, because the way they stigmatize it, they're going to stigmatize the long rifles, for example, after this, because the long rifle is used.
Well, that was my question. I mean, where do you guys see, if they were to draw a line, would it be on ownership of certain types of weapons, or would it be on the again another size?
I think it's going to be a magazine size reduction to, you got one shot, you can have like a Derringer, and you get like one shot, because it'll be like, oh, we're not regulating the gun, we're just saying you can only have one bullet. That's where they go. So they say, oh no, you can still have your gun. It's just a single shot. Like, it's like, okay, well, I guess I have to have 6 on me because then I need to get 6 rounds off. It's ridiculous.
But I think it would be pretty predictable which states would go what way on that. I mean, because Utah's just recently gone to a constitutional right to carry, so they're not going backwards anytime soon on the state level, and especially where hunting is such a huge part of the economy.
And part of me, this is where I'm divided, because part of me almost wants it to be a massive divide state by state, right? And just let the chips fall where they may. Same thing with a lot of these constitutional issues, like with abortion. It's like allow California to do the post-birth, right? They want to do that shit, they can do that, right? That's their state. Allow Texas to do what it's going to do, Oklahoma to do what it's going to do, and let's let it fall out where it is, right? Same thing with taxes, same thing with any other issue. I mean, I'm okay with the states being as different, if not more different, than countries in Europe, right? I mean, I think that's more of what the founders intended than.
Well, yeah, that was the original intention. The way I understand it, was a group of sovereign states,
right?
But
the ATF thinks otherwise.
6 shots of soju. It is summer, Adam.
This is Jeff's stream, so Jeff can do 6 shots of soju because I know he loves it so much.
Oh yeah.
What's soju? I haven't had the soju.
Okay, it's this.
Is it worse than Malort?
No, it's very specific. It's Korean alcohol. It's like very specific. Comes in this infamous green bottle. This is just one brand. There's many brands, but essentially one of these bottles, this is almost done, but one of these bottles will get you tipsy. 2 will get you pretty drunk. 3 will fuck you up. That's my kind of rule.
And they're only about 17% alcohol each. So there's just something about it that
it's the speed you consume it at. You know, it just gets you fucked up.
And it doesn't taste that great either.
It's also literally, Mike, it is
cheaper than water,
right? Yeah, it is right now 85 cents when you convert it from USD to Korean won. This is why I say I love it. You know, we're out here, you and I were drinking drinks for like $20 a piece. Yep. You know, this is like free almost. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. This is an interesting super chat here from Natalie McClendon. Jeff, will you please show me some pics on Alive when you get back from Logan? I lived there 15 months after college and had a blast. There's about three hardcore people in my group that are from my hometown, my tiny little shitty hometown in the mountains of northern Utah. So it's kind of weird. Yeah, and as I get the update on my favorite restaurant was robbed last week, you know, and things like that. Because that's where my course from the airport. I get out of the airport
Jeff,
in Salt Lake.
Imagine if it's robbed and they're like, "This is Jeff's favorite place. Fuck that bitch. You robbed
this." That's why they did it. It's all my fault.
I stand with Amber. I got this.
Yeah, and I get off the airplane in Salt Lake, go about 45 minutes to Ogden, hit the In-N-Out Burger, go an hour towards home, hit Peach City, and then go home and rest.
Oh, I had In-N-Out Burger when I was out in Cali. It was on my list. I went out of my way. I paid an Uber to take me to In-N-Out Burger.
What did you think, Mike?
Yeah.
What did you think?
I got an In-N-Out Burger. What was it? Animal style?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It was fantastic. That's what I thought.
Really?
I absolutely loved it.
Well, rumor has it that In-N-Out Burger may be coming to Korea.
No.
It's rumor stage at this point.
I don't think they're going to make it.
Well, Arby's was supposed to come 2 years ago, and it never did.
I don't think they're going to make it. Like, they're going to do their little twist on it, so I don't think it's going to make it. Unlike KFC, McDonald's, and what's the other one I have? Oh, Shake Shack. That shit. They have a fucking they have a goddamn like makgeolli drink like on their menu. They've like Koreanized it, right? You gotta like Koreanize your menu to succeed here.
Zach Frisch, the problem I have with the abortion thing is we all fall on laws from over 100 years ago with no chance of repeal. If a conservative party controls the legislature, it's not up to the people.
Wait, what?
What?
Yeah.
Well, conservative party controlling the legislature would have been up to the people. See, I don't know how to
here's the
explain
thing,
democracy to these people.
If you vote the people in, then they're the rightful legislators. If you have a problem with them, vote them out. And I mean, that's just kind of it. And the whole thing is with a lot of these decisions, the people who are your elected officials, whether it's state or federal, by the way, I'm not letting the state off the hook either. They've gotten off the hook for making hard decisions. They've punted the ball, they've passed the buck, and they don't want to make the hard decisions and make the calls because they'll be politically accountable for them. I think that's bullshit, and they need to have their feet held to the fire at all levels of government, right? And the electors need to do the making of the law, not the Supreme Court. I think that's ridiculous. And to try to shove that on the Supreme Court, it just shows how feckless and impotent the legislators are.
Comments, Mike?
Absolutely. I like that. Just no, but we have this so often. It's like, well, if things don't go my way, like a lot of things don't go my way. Things are not going my way in this country currently. Okay, I look at it and think, well, we don't. You know, the people I agree with don't control things. So bad things happen from my perspective. I don't say, oh, it's a constitutional problem. No.
The court has no more legitimacy because they did something that I disagreed with.
Yeah. I didn't like Roe v. Wade. I think that's an absolutely horrible decision. I was too young at the time. I mean, if I was alive, I don't even know. But I accepted that's currently the state of the law at the end.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's like I was talking with Andrew. This is the big. I think it was you. Maybe I was drunk for like 5 days, so I'm not really sure who I said what.
I was like, you're gonna have to specify the day, Jeff.
Yeah, I couldn't specify the day. I was talking to someone about this Roe v. Wade. I said that's what the left is all about. Is the government stays out of my womb. The government should get out of my womb. I don't want the government involved in my body. I don't want the government telling me. So when the Supreme Court says, okay, the feds are out of the business, the feds are out of your womb, the feds are out of your sex life, the feds are out of the abortion issue, somehow that's a bad thing. That's exactly what they've been screaming for.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. They misunderstand it fundamentally. And it's something that you see across the board because they've got their favorite blue check and they've got one or two stories, you know, the one or two stories about the women who have the weird pregnancy issues and are the ones that, you know, can't get an abortion now. It's like, well, hold on. That's not a fact. They can just go to the next door state. They can go to California. They can go wherever else. Oh, well, what if they don't have money? Well, first of all, you know, really you don't have money? I don't believe that shit. I've seen the stuff you 304s, as the kids say nowadays, are spending your money on. You got money, right? You definitely have money to take a flight in order to do that. If you can do that, take a flight to California, you know, get it done. Yeah. They'll do it for dirt cheap. They probably will fucking subsidize it, honestly. And, you know, make their taxpayers pay for it. It's going to be another social program that's going to cause their budget to bust. But that's glorious. I think they should be allowed. State of California should be allowed to go bankrupt year after year, should be allowed to raise their taxes to, you know, 90% income tax where you don't make anything, you own nothing, you eat the bugs. They should be allowed to do that and show just how unsuccessful that is. I think that'll be glorious.
That's what they've been doing.
we saw the gas. Mike, when I filled up on the way out, when I was filling up out in the airport on the way out, it cost me $51 for a quarter tank of gas. That's insane.
Speaking of peeps, I just got a happy birthday message from one of my new favorite people, Danny On, who is she's a candidate for the Salt Lake City District Attorney, the Salt Lake County District Attorney. She just sent me, she said she's watching the stream, but she was going to come on, but she's looking gross.
Did she send you a promise not to prosecute you when you come home?
She's quite young. She lived here in Korea for a couple of years. She's married to a Korean American, and she's running against one of the biggest asshole district attorneys I've ever seen in my entire life, and I hope she wins.
Very cool.
So yeah, she was just checking to say hi. I'm forgetting now. My phone is blowing up because this is like where everybody in America is now waking up to wish me happy birthday from home. She said no promises she won't arrest me if I do something wrong.
Yeah, no immunity for you, sir.
I hope she wins, and I'm looking forward to going out to dinner with her and her possibly her husband when I get there in a couple of weeks. We did a stream a while ago, and we're going to do another pre-recorded stream prior to the election because I think she needs to win. Youngest candidate in Utah history for district attorney and possibly in the nation.
Election cool. Same time as the regular election, so like November.
Yeah, November. Yeah, okay, and she is solidly based and Nick level unbreaded. So she would be a good person at her job. Brandon Lesko sending in 1,000 cents. Abortion is homicide. If we want to make illegal homicide, then do it. Just admit what it is. My company is now paying for abortion travel, which is insane to me.
Yeah, no, let them do it. Let the companies come out and do it. Let them show their stripes. Let them come out and expose themselves. I am all for it. I'm for companies coming out for these crazy things because then I can know which companies not to spend money on, right? Mm-hmm. The ones that are pro the trans drag shows for kids. The ones that are pro, post-birth abortion, the ones that are for all these crazy things, let them do it. I know where I'm not going to spend my money. For example, I've given this example, Jeff. I know it's hard to find non-Gillette razors sometimes here in Korea, right? We got the Dorco razor, but I will use the fucking Dorco razor just to not use the Gillette razor for that goddamn Men Are Toxic commercial, which they've never apologized for. In fact,
the Super Bowl one?
Yes, that one. Yeah, I've not forgotten, motherfuckers. I did not forget, right? And I love it.
I'm with you on that. I've done the same thing. I won't buy that stuff.
I'm sorry, I got to go with Gillette because it has 3 really nice razors and a little skin creamy thing on the end. And these Dorco razors are just like shaving your face with a dull piece of glass.
Just order a Harry's.
You're not getting the 5-blade one, but yeah,
on Amazon. Yeah. Don't you guys have Amazon?
Oh, we have Amazon. We have actually better. We have a like same day delivery services, which are actually superior to Amazon. Yes, like 20-minute sort of delivery. This is a thing.
Well, you live in Seoul. It takes a day to get down here.
Oh, I'm sorry, motherfucker. You live in the second biggest city. Shut the fuck up. Yeah. Like
it takes a day for stuff to get down here. But even stuff from Amazon, if they send it directly from Amazon in the States, it takes like 4 days to get here.
Yeah, Amazon is actually slow.
Yeah. So yeah. Well, we'll see what in 2 weeks from now. We'll see what new razor options there are for me there. I have sensitive skin.
Did you guys catch the gaffe of Good Morning America when they said they swore in the first black justice?
Yes.
Oh God, no.
Oh, you didn't see that?
That's so embarrassing. That's so embarrassing.
Yeah. That was. Yeah.
I mean, not
No,
even close.
Not
You
even
know?
close. Not even close by like
It's not like
by
it was number
decades.
2. It's just wrong. Just okay.
Oh no, it was bad, and they were all proud about it and shit. And then came the memes of of a scowling Thurgood Marshall doing the "oh really" thing. It's like,
What are you talking about? Yeah. Oh, that's good. That's good. I'm sorry I missed it.
yeah, that was pretty bad.
All right. I got to pop out. I just want to say happy birthday.
Oh, thank you so
Jeff.
much.
Thank you, Andrew.
Catch you around, Mike. Stay base,
All right.
brother.
Take care, sir.
All right. Bye.
Been a pleasure. And we've
How
got
does
some
he-
good. What was that?
Oh no, we can play the video. I was gonna say I'm sorry. I was telling everybody, I told you I've been weird since I came back with my sleep schedule. And what happens with me with like jet lag is I get to this wall where literally I like no matter what I'm doing, I'm like, and I'll be like right over here on my couch, and I'm like, I'm gonna wait for Jeff, and I'm like sitting on my phone, and all of a sudden it gets to a certain time, and I'm just like blackout. And I was like, but then I woke up, I'm like, must stream with Jeff. Come over here. So yeah, no, I willed myself into being.
Well, the good news is as of a couple of hours ago in the Taylor Schabusiness case, she was arraigned and pled not guilty. She is going to trial on October 19th.
That is insane. But I will say that case is going to be the evidence is going to be the staggering part, but it's going to be such a dunk like the Canterbury guy.
Yeah, because she makes him look like a Sunday school teacher. It's going to be a very, very short trial.
But she's a woman, so hashtag believe all women, Jeff.
Oh, yeah, believe her because she fucking told the police exactly what was going on. Yeah.
Exactly. So believe her, right? Believe her story.
Did you read the complaint?
You told me about it. You described
Yeah.
it to me.
I didn't know if you read it or not, but yes, 70 to 80% of that criminal complaint is just what she told the cops.
That's the part where it's like, and you're going to plead not guilty. Just fall upon the mercy of the court at this point.
Well,
Hope you get a light sentencing.
Well, you can't because this is Wisconsin. Same as Chandler. It's a life imprisonment without parole. You got nothing to lose by pleading guilty.
Okay, so just roll with it and end up doing it.
I just want to know what's in the water in Wisconsin.
When is the dumpster bros? Do you know when is that case starting? Is that next week or the week after?
Sometime in
I feel like
August.
August?
Sometime in August. I think so.
Okay, we gotta wait.
Nick's the master for that.
But that case is fucking great. That's gonna be some white trash prime. I'm loving it. That thing's gonna be classic too.
That's got to be aired somewhere.
Yeah.
There's so many interesting cases, and that's kind of the fun thing about this is thinking, okay, what do I do as the new guy after the Amber Heard Johnny Depp thing?
Whatever the fuck you want to do, bro.
There's always cool stuff to talk about.
I like your ship collision stuff. I honestly I watch that because that's your area of expertise. You know about that, right? You can talk intelligently about that. I mean, and it's fun. Like it's just fun watching videos and playing stuff and doing what you want to do. I mean,
yeah,
I think it's different. It's nobody else is doing that. Nobody else knows what the fuck they're talking about boats at all. So, I mean, maybe like one person has been on one, but that's about it.
Yeah. Today we've just been kind of chilling and hitting random legal stories.
I was actually when I was getting ready here, I heard your thing about the grates thing, and I actually have that same phobia. Every time I go over a grate, I will not have anything in my hand to make sure everything is put away. Because I always think something is going to drop to that fucking grate, and I'm never going to get it ever. I mean, it's insane.
Which is kind of why yesterday when we were doing the video about the Skyway Bridge incident there in Tampa Bay in your neck of the woods, they were saying the bridge originally when it was built in the 50s was just a steel grate. It wasn't asphalted over. I mean, that would freak me the fuck out. And there's no way I could go on that bridge.
And you're looking down. It's
Yeah.
so high because you've never been over it, right, Jeff?
Nope.
Yeah. Okay. So
Yeah.
I've driven over it multiple times. It is intimidating. Like even, and especially since before I even went on it, I knew the story because the story is so famous about the Skyway Bridge. But when you go on it, even without the story, it's intimidatingly steep. And then you know the story, and then you literally think, oh, this is going to happen while I'm driving over.
Yeah. And that's why I mean, I don't mind heights if I'm in an enclosed space, like in cars, planes. That doesn't bother me. But I wasn't the Boy Scout that would go, wow, let's see, let's go sit on the edge of the cliff here and look over. I'm like, nah, I'm good from way back here. But when it, you know, and you can see through the road, that would be a little bit odd for me.
Yeah, no, that's not happening. That's not happening.
There is a bridge.
Have you been to the? I was gonna say, have you been to the Lotte? The fuck, what is it? The tallest building.
The one in Seoul, the
Lotte
Lotte
Tower.
World?
Lotte Tower. No, I was actually at the Lotte World amusement park the other day. I've never been there. That was actually hilarious.
It's Lotte World 2 or whatever out there on the other
tower.
side of
the big tower, the one that looks like a
been there
shard. Yeah, that's I think the 4th or 5th biggest in the world. It's something like that.
Yeah.
But it's got the glass observation decks where you can like go out and like look down. And I know it's like supposed to be fall proof and wind proof and all of this shit, but that's I think for a lot of people that's pretty fucking triggering.
No, well, you know, you've seen the LCT towers here on Haeundae Beach.
Yeah, I stayed there.
Yeah, so they in one of them you can go up to the 100th floor and go up to the highest Starbucks in the world, and they also there on the 100th floor they have like glass walkway that you can see straight down to the beach 100 stories below. And when I was there was two women that would not walk across it. They just would not walk across this glass floor.
Isn't there something where like people are afraid of living in that tower because they think it's going to collapse or something like that? Isn't that like an actual fear of people? One of the reasons why it hasn't sold out or why it's not like fully booked? Because I've heard there's a lot of crazy stories about that tower in Busan, the LCT tower.
Yeah, they're for those who don't know, there's 3 towers. One is 100 and something stories, and the other 2 are in the 80s, high 80 stories.
It's the second tallest building in Korea. The first one's in Seoul, the second one's in Busan.
And they're both owned by the same company. So
yeah.
But well, the thing is, it's so foggy here, being right on the ocean, that for about a month and a half, you can't see the top of the building, which means the people on the top of the building can't see the ground. And then you get the typhoons and shit coming in. It's not where I'd want to live. And they're tens of millions of dollars for one apartment.
Yeah. Not my choice of an investment, but you know.
And of course, that high with the winds, they have to like sway a great deal so they don't collapse.
Right. So it doesn't snap like a fucking twig.
Yeah.
And there's a glass bridge so Mitris Meg says there's a glass bridge in China. I haven't heard about like which specifically.
No, that's a cool one. It's this really long glass bridge and it has like these fake crackling effects.
Look that up. Glass bridge, China.
Yeah, there's lots of good videos for that because it
okay, I see.
It does like these random crackly images across it, so it looks like it's cracking under you, and that freaks people the fuck out.
It's like this one here, I guess. I'm like sharing my screen. I don't know. This one right here.
Yeah, that is the bridge. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And as you walk across it, it does like fake cracking stuff and freaks the fuck out of people.
That's crazy. Like right there. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty crazy, man. It's pretty crazy. China does some crazy shit though. Not gonna lie.
Well, I just like the pictures of the roads that are literally one lane built on the side of a cliff, and you.
Oh yeah, like the cliff city that's like right by the river, and it's like right fucking there, and the roads are like right on it.
Yeah, and you got some woman carrying her son and a goat up this like 5,000-foot ladder to get to the city. And
there's no safety thresholds. There's none of that. Like all that safety bullshit that we do with the United States and like Western Europe, everywhere else. That shit's out the window. They're just like, yeah, you want to drive over a cliff? That's fine. We're cool with that.
OSHA, I'm not a pussy. I don't need any safety standards.
Yeah, same thing with intellectual property. I covered that with Disney. You know, because Disney's thinking of like offloading the parks there because, of course, they realize they don't actually own them and they're at risk of being taken by the CCP. And it's like, man, they're going to take your IP no matter what. Like, they really do not care about any of
that. How is this here? Let me bring this up real quick here. Where are we at? Share screen. Da-da-da-da-da. Yeah, this would kind of be unnerving, I guess.
That is so fucking funny.
Oh, that's loud.
I was jamming there, man.
Oh, no fucking way I'm doing that shit.
Yes.
No fucking way.
Yes. Yeet her. Yeet her.
More carrying across the bridge. Notice how it's all the guys doing this and not the girls. The girlfriend's like, fuck you, pussy, I'm leaving.
Yeah, she's definitely fucking his best friend.
Anyway, yeah, that would be a little unnerving if you weren't a big fan of heights.
Yeah. Yeah,
I'm so happy Ship Business is going to trial. At least give me a week or two of amusement.
Oh yeah. There's always stuff. That's what people get worried about. You know, it's like, okay, maybe the topic isn't as popular in terms of, okay, maybe, you know, I think a lot of people freak out. Like, oh my God, it's not getting the numbers that the turd stuff got. It doesn't matter. It's it's all fun stuff, and it's all great stuff to cover. Like I'm enjoying thoroughly covering all of it. I think it's going to be great, and we've got so much news and so much stuff coming out. I don't think there's a lack of stuff at all. No,
because there's always someone going to be just doing something stupid to somebody else.
Being a fucking idiot. Exactly. There's going to be somebody who's being a fucking idiot. It's just the rule of life.
Well, what are you and Drex going to be talking about?
We're going to be talking. I'm just going to have Drex on to really narrow my chat down. I think I've gotten way too many snowflakes from all this bullshit, and it's time. It's time to, in the words of the guy who literally got sent to jail for saying this, it's time to melt some snowflakes. It is definitely time. I need a Drex. I need a Drex purge. So it's going to be good. It's a healthy cleansing. You know, it's like fiber. You know, it gets all that out of your system. So all these things, all these emails I get and people saying, oh my God, this and that. I can't believe you're saying XYZ. I literally had somebody, so they screenshotted my comments section to my Marilyn Manson video. And this is Amber Stans and Evan Rachel Wood Stans. They literally put me on blast on Twitter, took my comment section and said that, what was it? Somebody in my comment section who said we need to take women's rights away. They took that and they're like, this is what we need to fight for. This should scare everybody. This is what's coming down. And it's like, look, and I've had those conversations. I've had those conversations with Drex, with other people, and how I believe that's not going to happen. You know, I've talked about how if effectively you wanted to have people who are taking more from the system than they're giving back, if you wanted to get rid of their voting rights, how that would actually work, and you could actually make that pass. I think you could make that pass, but you can't do it based on gender. That's never going to happen. So one crazy person in a comment section doesn't prove anything. There's crazy people in a comment section who say all sorts of crazy shit. There's people who say, you know, all sorts of stuff. I'm ready to call the herd. I'm ready to call the herd.
I've got emails or comments from people that just go, okay. But the weirdest one I ever got was someone was, I'm unsubscribing because you're promoting alcohol on your stream.
Promoting alcohol?
Yeah, I'm like, get the fuck out of here. This is the first time you've seen me with. It's right there in the fucking name of the channel. Here's the gigantic liquor cabinet back there.
Legal vices. You're not legal virtues, motherfuckers. Yeah. Like this is not the channel for you to be coming over here and gonna have a fucking tea party. There's other channels for that, for sure. And that's the beauty of law too. People can tune into those other channels. That's perfectly fine. Yeah. Right. And you want the people that really enjoy it and are here hanging out with you on your birthday, having a good time, drinking and having fun. Those are the people that I want to talk to.
Yeah, and it wasn't just a shit talker in the stream. This was like a dedicated email explaining how it had no choice but to unsubscribe because I was promoting the consumption of alcohol on live stream.
Yeah.
Well, sorry, that's what I do.
Ridiculous, man.
Well,
It's ridiculous.
a direct stream that's my next goal. The direct stream is my next goal in life.
Hit him up. He's on Twitter. Just hit him up on Twitter and have a stream with him. He'll do it for sure.
Yeah, because I got to do the Nick Unbreaded on Saturday, so
he will.
That was a checkbox.
He will love to get into you about Asian ladies because he always loves to bring that up about the guys who simp for the Asian women. So that's one of the topics he'll love. He also loved watching Love and Leashes. He's like obsessed with that. So if you want to talk Love and Leashes with him, that's great. He's like, is it really like that there? And I'm like, well, yes and no. I mean, are people like, is the office culture one that people are treated like bitches? Yes, that's very true. Like that is definitely office culture. But are people having like kinky sub-dom relationships? I'm sure there's some guys, but I don't think that's the majority of dudes. I wouldn't say that's the majority of dudes.
Not the majority of women. There is a fair share of the sub women here.
No, but even the sub guys.
Oh, I don't even fucking care about that.
Well, Love and Leashes is
I can
about
see
a guy who's a sub and wears a collar, wears like a kitten collar or a dog collar.
Oh, I thought it was the reverse.
No. And the whole point is the female lead is from Girls' Generation, I believe. She's like a former K-pop star, so it's like scandalous for her to be in something sex, but she's in the power position. So, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's interesting. Drex loves it. Drex loves it. Drex. That's his favorite. I'm just giving you an easy topic to talk about with him.
I would guess there is a substantial number of sub men here.
Yeah, but there's a substantial number of sub men in the United States too. Like that, there's a lot of sub men elsewhere. There's literally I had a woman who's one of my followers. Literally asked me the other day, Andrew, how do I find a guy who's going to dominate me? And I'm like, well, I can tell you where not to find them. That's much easier. That's much easier. So anyways, man, it's good times.
We've got one of the mods is going away for the evening. Thank you very much, Rose. Nice to see you here again. Thank you for all you do, and thank you for the.
I am so glad you have mods, Jeff. I am so fucking glad.
Most of them are.
You were raw dogging it in the beginning, and I was concerned.
Well, I was doing my best with what I expected to have, and then suddenly I exploded and accidentally, and then that sounds kind of bad, doesn't it?
It's all right. It's all right. No judgment here. It's judgment-free zone.
So it happened. There's no way. All right, I'm just gonna say because there's no easy, definite way. It happened earlier than I expected, so I had to deal with it. And like most of my mods, I think, are your mods.
Yeah, a lot of them I think are. You got Beaver, right?
Yeah.
She was drunk as fuck today and misbehaving, but she's generally a good Beaver and generally does a good job. Some of the other guys are great. I see. Oh, and I see some of my people in here. I see obviously Danielle. She's a mod for me. I see Patrick, who's one of my OGs in here. A lot of my OGs in here in your chat, and I love that. I love that. It really helps out because I got my stream earlier. Then I finish, and people come on with you, and then people can go with Nick, and then people can kind of have content really all day.
Well, I mean, what am I up to now? 22,054 subscribers, and
nice.
Probably 22,053 of them came from other LawTubers. So that's what I'm grateful for. You get to go on places, and I'm still low enough in the game that I really don't have a lot to offer guests on my channel other than witty commentary and hopefully a good time. And so I'm just happy people let me on, and that shows people that I'm here, and it gets it out. So it don't have to do the legwork that a lot of the people that went before me do.
That's all you ever need, man. That's all you ever need. All you ever need is to have fun and to be, having a good time.
Oh yeah. Well, now that my blood pressure has demonstrably lowered in the past month and a half, because I was just saying that earlier that I had to do my annual health old guy checkup stuff
Sure.
a month ago, and then I had to do the
You got your
national healthcare
prostate
stuff.
tickled?
No, I got an appointment for that.
Okay.
That August 15th is D-Day. They're sticking a camera down me, up me, and around me. So it's as long as I'm out, do everything. Like, well, that was the first question with the national health insurance, and my blood pressure is noticeably lower than it was before I had this daily outlet.
Yeah.
It's great, but yeah, that's the deal. I went in there and said, okay, you need a colonoscopy, an endoscopy, and a prostate exam. They said, no, would you like to be totally put to sleep for this? And I was like, why do you think I would want to be awake for any of that?
Yep.
Well, it's $150 to put you under anesthesia. I'm like, yeah, I'll pay you $300 to put me under anesthesia. You know?
Yeah, you definitely
Okay.
want it.
I mean, that's the cool thing. I mean, if I had to say, what do we need to do with American healthcare? I would
You
say
didn't make
we
it like
need
fucking Korea, because
we would
literally
need to
it's
pattern it after Korea.
But here's the problem: we can never do that, Jeff. And I'm going to say it's because the state of the nation, right, at large, is not compatible. I mean, the costs of healthcare in America would go through the fucking roof. There's no way with the state of health in America that people could that we could have a healthcare system that runs as efficiently as here in Korea. Just based on literally, I get off the plane, I look around. It's okay. How many healthy people versus unhealthy people, right? The ratio in the United States is like complete inverse.
Yeah, probably.
It does not work. I mean, just like think about diabetes levels. Yes, there's people who have diabetes here, but it's not even close. Like the rates are not even anywhere close. So
Brandon again, thank you again. Brandon won big at the gambling tables apparently yesterday. So
hey man, Brandon, congrats, bro. Appreciate that, man.
Both of you, SMK, AOC, should business Amber Turd ? Ooh,
what is this? A marry, fuck, kill, yeet?
Yeah,
I mean, like, what is this? Like a list? Like,
I guess that's smash, marry, yeet.
There's four though. Like, so what's the fourth option?
No, there's three. SMK is smash, marry, yeet, I believe.
Oh, smash, marry, kill. Okay, yeah, smash, marry. Yeah, but let's go with yeet. SMY, right? AOC's should business Amber Turd. Oof. Should business actually kill you? So I feel like you do have to kill.
We have to get her out of the way early.
I feel like you.
Although she would be the freakiest fuck of the three.
She would be, but I'm not gonna take a fucking chance.
But yeah, the last guy that went for that didn't end so well for him. So I guess you got to kill her. I would agree.
Amber Turd, you can smash because everybody smashed her. That's like established.
That means you got to marry AOC.
Hold on, but that could be a political marriage though, because like clearly, for as much trash as she talks about white men, she married a white man. Literally.
So you would marry her to reunify the kingdom, like was it?
Yeah,
Bush's campaign manager and Serpent.
And then I would dox our bedroom videos where she's asking to be choked out and being, have somebody spit in her mouth. I would dox that, and it would be glorious. It would be fucking glorious.
But she would never do a handstand and twerk on the beach for you, like the Rhode Island.
She'd do way more than that. I guarantee it.
Boy, that would be which one? It would be like the lesser of two evils who you'd have to marry. And I would like to think that despite my complete revulsion for AOC and her politics, she could be a normal wife. In a more normal.
There's an AU. There's an AU where AOC is a housewaifu and she's like cleaning and cooking and she's like waiting for you at home. There's like an AU. There's some other branch that could have been gone down where AOC is your stay at home.
Patrick, welcome. Patrick Kennedy in the house. How are you doing today, buddy?
He's doing all right, man.
Made it through the fourth. Made it through the fourth, I guess. That's good. Make
Less
sure you
drunk
don't
than yesterday, hopefully. We had a call-in show. He was on yesterday. It was great.
Make sure you don't get scoped under sedation at a teaching hospital. Yeah, Nick brought out my vasectomy story where it turned out to be a teaching hospital with 5 nurses walking in on me as I was getting snipped. That was great. It's cold in here was my response. But it's been a fun time here. It is getting to be 2 a.m. and I've got a bunch
the
of
only
people
ones,
in my.
the only ones on are the Koreans, you know,
Yeah.
where it's 2 a.m. Like that just shows like the people in America where it's like regular, like lordly time, like it's God's time in America. Like it is the witching hour here, and we are up to be doing the witching.
Well, I'm ridiculously surprised that 3 hours and 14 seconds into this, we still have 276 people hanging on.
Hey, cheers to everybody who's hanging in here 3 hours in. Really love you guys. It's great. And this is why we do what we're going to do, because I mean, you know, it's great to be hanging out with, you know, 200, 300, 400, however many of our best friends, drinking, having a good time, and just talking shit. I love it. I fucking love it.
Yeah. And let's see. I think we've got all of the super chats out of the way. Brandon's 473 super chats he's done tonight were deeply, deeply appreciated. And everybody, like I don't beg. The only time I've shilled for super chats is the drunk cast, the I don't give a fuck Friday griftathon we just recently did last week.
Oh yeah, you did one. You did one was like just a pure chill.
Yeah, but I think I have decided one thing about griftathon drinking streams. There's a lot of people that have $50 for disposable income. Way too many. I had like 10 news stories planned just to hang through the evening. I don't remember getting through the second story. I don't even know if
I feel like, honestly, those drinking, like I haven't done one, but everybody did one. And I was like shocked because it's super effective. It's like the super effective, you know, Pokemon move is just like to do the griftathon and the $50 super chat per shot or per whatever, or per drink, whatever you want to set it at. And people will fuck you up pretty quickly.
Yeah, deliberately. And again, Brandon was one of those people. But
and by the way, guys, trust me. See the thing with Jeff is he's going to get double duty out of that. All those super chats not only go into the fact that he's drinking at that moment, but this gentleman will definitely have some whiskey he purchases with those super chats.
Oh hell
so
yeah!
It is double use. It is very efficient use.
That's the first law of business investment: reinvest in the company. Keep it going. But no, that was a wild time because I did that Friday night till about 2:00 in the morning, and then had to get up and do Nick's stream, and then that went for 5.5 hours, and somehow got through unbreaded, and then I had to bail on him during the super chats because I had to go to the cigar lounge for the Russians throwing me my birthday party. So it happened to get. I was literally out of my mind for 48 hours. So we're taking it easy for the next week or so until I get to the States.
You gotta take it a little easy, bro. You gotta take it easy. You cannot. It's not a sprint. It's a marathon. You know. Yeah. And I think that's a problem. I told you this when you started. I said, you know, the one thing about streaming, and I think you guys who watch us, you know, kind of understand this. It is a lot of energy to come out every day. And like this week, for example, I'm like double streaming. That shit is very fucking tiring. Like the fact that I have to wake up in 6 hours and stream again, right? That's very, very, very tiring, especially since I do have to do research. I have to look into my topics beforehand. I can't just jump on and like talk out of my ass, although I do that sometimes. It's not every time. So it does get very tiring. It is a lot of work. And both Jeff and I have other jobs that we do, other work that we do. In addition to sometimes going out and having our lives. You know, Jeff, you were at a baseball game the other day, which is which is great, actually. I'm going to go to my first baseball game in August 7th or 6th. Cool. So should be really cool. My first experience in Korea going to a baseball game. But
the baseball games are wild, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm glad they're back to full capacity and they're not cucked. So that's really the most important thing.
Yeah, that's the last vestige of my sadness is flying out in 10 days on a Delta flight, but is run by Korean Air, so I still have to wear a mask for 14
Trust
hours.
me, it's not as bad as you think it's going to be because they really stopped giving as much of a shit. Once you're on and they serve you anything, or if you have like a water, they give you a bottle of water on Korean, open the bottle of water, drink it slowly in front of you, keep it, you know, the chin diaper, you know, you sit there with it and they don't really call you on it. They did before because they really cared about it. Now I think everybody, as you kind of are realizing, probably everybody's kind of getting over it now.
Yeah.
So they're less I would say Nazi, but my equivalent here is Japanese. Of course, they're not going to like that comment, but you know, it is what it is.
Well, on that note, I think I've got to check out. I've got to be back in the office and ready to go in 7 hours. Got a bunch of crewmen that were on a sunken fishing boat coming to the office for a round of interviews. Yay!
Nice.
Got to go be maritime law guy.
Well, you are definitely a maritime law guy. But hey, guys, shout out to Jeff. Happy birthday to Jeff. Literally, you guys are what make it happen. Make sure you guys have liked and subbed this because that also helps us out in the algorithm. It's for you guys to like, sub, comment. Just leave a happy birthday comment. Leave a happy birthday comment. That's all it is. And I guess we'll catch you soon, right? Anytime.
Nurse Ladybird, thanks for the tail end super sticker. You're the last one in today. That's awesome. And thanks for stopping by. It kind of had some fun guests just talking shit all day long. It was a good 3 hours. It went an hour longer than I thought it would.
The best birthday you could ask for.
And if there's anybody here that hasn't gone over to Legal Mindset,
they're all over here. These degenerates. They're all over.
Come from there anyway. If you haven't been, go there and do the thing because he's the one that talked me into doing this silly shit. So,
do you regret it yet?
No, I mean, whether they do or not, it's either because of him or it's his fault. One of the two. You know.
Yes. You blame
it because of him or it's because of him. It depends. But go over there and do the shit with him too. But yeah, right. Anytime you're up, shoot me a link. I'm always here, and that's the beauty of being in the same time zone.
Exactly. It's fucking gorgeous. Guys, take care. We'll catch you next time, and
take care, sir. And that's it for me too. Everybody that was here, thank you deeply, deeply from the bottom of my heart for stopping in and saying hi on my birthday, giving me all your birthday wishes. Those of you that have donated anything as birthday gifts, God bless all of you. You guys are super as well. Likes and subscribes, as Andrew said, help way more than you think. It gets us in the YouTube algorithm. It gets us there. We're doing quite well in the likes and subscription department, but we can always do more. Tomorrow, join me. We're going to get back into the last 3 episodes of the what the fuck is his name? Alec Baldwin shooting video. We'll be doing the last 3 people. Hell, who are they? Sarah, the prop master. Dave's not here. Dave, who I think he was one of the directors or something, and then the guy's name slipped my mind. The one that provided the ammo. We'll do Josh, I believe his name was. So we'll be doing those 3 for the rest of the week, and that should catch us up. And as soon as I can find a copy of the arraignment for Taylor Schabusiness, if it was on video anywhere, Seth, yeah, that was the guy's name, Seth. If I can find the Taylor Schabusiness arraignment anywhere on stream somewhere, we'll talk some more about that. So join me tomorrow. I'm not sure what time. It'll probably be around the same time we kicked off today. Until then, you all have yourself an amazing, wonderful morning, afternoon, evening, day, whatever you're doing, wherever you are. Enjoy it. I am so grateful for all of you that participated tonight. I could sing your praises for the rest of the night, but I really do need to catch some Z's. So until tomorrow, until we hit the Alec Baldwin videos some more, take care of yourself. Thank you so much. And as always, enjoy your legal vices.